Yo, what's up, Detroit? It's definitely in the building via your headphones, stereo, and speakers. Of course, this is your man's the African Caesar, and this is the SneakerBox Sunday evening show right here on Woodward Sports. I got the full crew here. To my right, we have the contrarian of the show, Gino.
It's because I'm right.
No. That's what
I'm always right.
No.
Whatever.
You the guy that, like, everybody loves Shang-Chi, and then you the one got to come
I
out
like
there.
Shang-Chi.
Okay, so
that shit was dope.
Okay. So for once in your life, you made some sense.
That shit was fire.
It was good though. Like okay. So the movie's so good that even the contrarian like Gino got it.
It didn't even feel like a Marvel movie. It felt like it was an old like Jackie Chan type movie.
Was Jackie Chan in the movie?
No, but they actually.
So isn't that offensive?
No, actually. So what they did do is the guy that was responsible for doing a lot of Jackie Chan's choreography was the one that inspired a lot of the choreography that they used in the movie. So
Guru was like, there's only one room for one racist on the show.
That's you.
No, that's you, guys.
That's you, man.
I swear to God, once I find the audio,
for someone who moves so much white, I can't believe why you don't like white people. I'm just kidding.
You don't like white people though.
Who?
You.
I don't have no problem with white people.
Guru is definitely a little racist.
No,
look how you treat dunks.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
I don't treat dunks. I comment on things that I see. I don't say like, oh, this is
like you see his white skin. Like,
well, no, I didn't say nothing about white skin. I said that jersey. I said the hair. I've never said.
So if it was a black dude wearing it, would you say something?
Of course, we would go even harder. So
you're a goddamn liar.
And we've got the rock star of the show, Dunks. Just introduce myself at this point.
Call it what you want to.
Ooh.
A Brooklyn Basquiat called you a Harvey Duncan Dick.
Whoa. Whoa.
See what I mean?
Almost a compliment. Whoa. This close to saying something nice.
I know my man's just say, hey, look, I know you watching. Make sure you comment.
No, he did say that.
Be Harvey Dent for Halloween.
Yeah.
Has Guru ever said anything nice about dunks?
He did a slam layup once.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah. All right. I have to go through.
It probably would have missed.
He trying to Fox to his news beef over here, man. He trying to pin us against each other, bro.
Okay. And then, of course, the worst person on the show, Guru.
According to my reviews on Apple, I'm pretty good at it. So
nah, bro, you got that one negative review.
Bro, they ain't so somebody made a comment about you a year and a half ago.
Nobody said my name
to that episode.
Nobody said my name, and then of course they described you to a T. They said this person said this. You was the only person that said what they complained about.
No, you talking about how you.
I'm gonna find the audio.
So you trying to say basically Guru fit the description?
Yeah,
that's kind of racist right there.
He's the only person that said
the description.
No,
he the only person that said what he said.
White males. He was in the episode where you said
that wasn't even a white voice,
huh?
They assumed it was.
But what about your Yelp reviews?
That's what he was talking about.
No. I'm saying, but that's what part of being racist. You don't say if the name was like Samuel, you're not gonna use a black.
Honestly,
voice.
I never even looked at the names. If you go back, anybody that listened to the show,
but you said the names at the end, though.
I said the names at the end, but go back and listen to when I would do those. Sometimes I would say the name, I would give them a man voice, and it end up being a woman. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even think of the name until we got to the end.
Well, that's pretty messed up too, man.
I never heard you use a black voice.
Huh?
I never heard you use a black voice.
I'm using it now. I'm using my black voice. I'm using my black voice now.
Exactly. Never use a black voice.
Does Dunks have a black voice?
This is my black voice.
No. Dunks is not going to attempt to use a black voice.
Oh, okay.
What was that scene from Infinity War? It was like, this is my voice. When he was mocking Thor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
that's a good ass movie.
That was a good movie.
Ah, man.
Sneakers are for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, Automobile movies.
Infinity War is better than Endgame. I give you that. Yeah.
I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that.
Infinity War is better, man.
I don't know about that.
It's nothing. No, it's not really nothing.
Here go what I like about Infinity War. You think about it, man. Dog, Thanos had a dog ass day. He did all of that in one day.
No, I'm saying
that's a hell of a day. He got all of the stones in one day and then killed half population on Earth.
Dog, Endgame was a moment, man. Like for real. Like I ain't never seen grown people cry in a movie in a Marvel in a comic book movie. Like one girl, like I thought they had to turn the lights on and make sure she was okay. Like she was crying like we was really at Tony Stark funeral.
She was faking.
Nah, bro.
So like Shang-Chi, she was acting.
Oh. That was the best cameo.
Hey, look, y'all haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, right?
No, I'll check.
All right, spoiler alert.
Dude, that is...
No,
don't say. Don't
but it was too funny.
That was hilarious, dude.
Too funny, man. I'm glad they added that to it.
They had to. It's necessary.
I mean, yeah. And I ain't say, I wasn't expecting it. That's probably what made it more funny.
True.
Or funnier. Especially when they were in the fight scene.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Everybody watching like, man, I gotta go see Shang-Chi now. See what they talking about.
Anyway, familiar face returns.
Yeah. That'll make sense. I mean, and I feel like those dots are easy to connect. Like, who else could we be talking about?
I mean, but you look at the last time he was around in a movie was...
I feel like we're dropping so many breadcrumbs right
a while ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, so... Let's go see the movie.
Let's go see the movie.
Yeah, go see it.
I'm going to go see it again tomorrow, so
yeah.
Let's all go see it together.
Again tomorrow?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Even though I didn't pay for my ticket, but so I could.
Ooh, influencer.
No,
You're
Pepsi.
a reseller and a pirater?
Pepsi paid for my ticket.
What? Why is Pepsi paying for your movie tickets?
Don't ask no questions.
I mean, they do. They are the official pop of the concession stand. So.
Actually, I went to a Coke account.
You did?
It was AMC. Like,
I mean, you probably went over there to begin politicking to turn them over.
I thought about it. I really did think about it. I was like, I always have my business cards in my wallet, so.
So that's why you went there. That was business.
I mean, it was after hours, so I guess it really wasn't business related.
Is that after hours? Slam?
Let you hang it, no, Ali?
Dunk.
Damn.
Come on now.
Damn. But anyway, we got a number of things we got in today's show. We finally got Rick Maderis, former Nike graphic and footwear designer. He also worked for Jordan Brand, Adidas, New Era. I mean, name a brand he worked for him. Probably a shorter list of brands he didn't work for. Shout out to Rick, though. He finally got him on the show. I got that interview later on. Guru actually came up with this bomb-ass idea, which was we had to pick our five of our favorite albums and then find sneakers that correlate with that album. I thought that was a clever idea. I mean, he's been on the show for 6 years, and he finally came up with a good idea.
You gonna let him shit on you like that, dog?
That's the one that's the one you use for yourself. The other ones you sold to Nike. So
I ain't even gotta sell. They listen to the show.
Exactly.
Well, please believe this one about to go.
Oh yeah, you already know. Like, you got any jewels for us this week, Guru?
No.
Any shoe that you think they should come back with?
Weekend. I ain't working this weekend.
I
heard you still got the work, though.
It's a special treat that I'm here working Labor Day weekend.
It's a special treat.
For all the listeners, yes.
Guru's face says everything. I let dog like sometimes when you say stuff, I just look right at Guru's face.
That's why I said he's racist.
I'm definitely not racist.
I just love seeing his face. His reaction to stuff is hilarious.
I'm definitely not racist.
So we should have like a Guru face reaction video.
Yeah, we should have like a Guru cam. We just tracks his
he
face.
does have his own camera.
Oh, me?
Yeah, we have to fucking share the slam dunk cam.
See?
That's because you guys are center court. You know, I'm like sideline, C's is box press. You guys are like center court.
So we the most important, so that's why we in the middle.
See, I did notice that. I did notice that in the interview because it was like me and Guru and Rick had our own boxes, and then you and Dunks. But y'all slam dunk though, so I mean it fits.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Integral part of the show.
You are.
No, we are together.
Y'all like Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson. That's nice.
High energy.
That's nice.
Owen Hart and Coco Beware.
Then, you know,
Bro.
Wait, Marv Albert. So who's Marv Albert?
He's Marv Albert. You Mark Jackson. So.
Of all the black-white duos to call somebody, he called y'all Mark Jackson.
Could we just talk about?
You know what Marv Albert got caught? How Marv Albert got caught a couple times.
Well, Marv
We're clearly Owen Hart and Coco Beware.
No, definitely not.
High
Definitely
energy.
not.
Wow.
That would make you dead, and that would make me one of the wackest wrestlers of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh man, I don't even know how to
Not
follow
happening.
that. Social media. Follow
I'll take
us.
the Mark Jackson
And then we
one,
got
though.
what's his name, Viscerous.
Oh, that's
Mabel.
C's.
Oh, for real?
He said.
Oh, okay.
Why you looking at me? I didn't say it.
All right. Okay.
He hit you with the steel chair, not
Okay,
me.
no, I got you. All right.
I just moved out the way.
Okay, what's my man?
No, we're a tag team.
Yeah, but you know how sometimes like you leave the ring, I went to go attack somebody else, and you just got
No,
stranded.
he more like David Flair.
Ric Flair's kid that overdosed and died.
Yeah, that never did shit.
That overdosed and died.
Did he die?
Shout out September Mental Health Awareness Month.
Did he die?
One of them did, yeah.
I don't think it was
One
David.
of them.
I think it was.
So you're not
David.
even sure which one it is.
Ric Flair's older son passed away.
Shout out to Charlotte Flair.
How many kids does Ric Flair have?
Woo! I mean, when you've been styling and profiling,
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not even sure he knows.
You've been limousine riding, jet flying,
Rolex wearing.
yeah, kid stealing, son of a gun. You probably got a lot of kids.
Yeah. Social media. You can follow us on Twitter at TSB_show. You can follow us on Instagram at @SneakerBox_show. And you can follow us on Facebook by looking up the SneakerBox radio show page. If you want to leave us a voicemail, whether you want to respond to something we said on the show or if you have a sneaker comment or question, feel free to hit us up on our voicemail hotline at 248-677-1803. I guess we can get right into it because I do want to see what everybody's 5 albums are.
You've already seen them.
Yeah, I didn't take.
Actually, I
this,
didn't really pay attention to them.
I didn't take this too seriously, but
I kind of forwarded them.
Oh, okay.
But Fab 5 sneaker releases of the week. Starting with number 5, we have the Nike ACG Air Moab. What's that? Is that Rattan or Rattan Birch?
This is number 5.
Number 5.
Not bad shoe.
Some better stuff came out than this.
I'll probably get it later on.
Okay. I mean, well, I'm waiting. I figured this would
Did
have
you
been.
get a pair? Or are you going for these?
No.
No, I would get one.
I would get one.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I would get them. I just think these would have been higher considering
I
what
kind
all
of
I've
forgot.
seen.
I kind
I'd
of
go
forgot
hiking in this silhouette, but I need a better colorway.
That is the purpose of it.
I'm actually surprised that these sold out. Like, I'm not. How should I say it?
Why are you
In this
surprised?
climate, yeah. Well, no, because everything sells out.
Exactly. And plus, we know
I'd be
we know they tricked the numbers anyway. They're gonna tell us that it's sold out. So yeah, that's why
And
it's sold
surprise
out.
restock.
Exactly.
I'm surprised and I'm not. The reason I'm not surprised because, like I just said earlier, like everything sells out. At the same time, I'm still surprised because it's just like this generation didn't strike me as ACG fans. So
They're not. It's
SB's been doing ACG inspired though, which may or may not have helped this collection.
true too.
it might have.
They did a 3-piece so far.
And they went with the iconic, ACG colors, the beige, blue, and orange. I mean, I like them. I think they dope. I got caught slipping on these again.
I like that Nike's bringing silhouettes like this and the Hirachis back, or at least trying.
I can't wait for them to bring the Hirachi flights back, man. Like, seriously. Because they brought back the lows for a minute, like last year or the year before.
What brought back Karachi lows?
Yeah, they had a few Hirachi lows.
Hirachis were dead other than black for a minute, or like they did a
Stussy
few
had a
girls'
collab.
colorways or maroon colorway, but
I mean,
anything.
Hirachi's
really
since
the past,
2014, 2015.
Yeah,
They've
that
constantly
was-
been selling year in, year in. They'll constantly keep us studying out your colorways. Like this year and last year, they started to bring out the OG colorways.
Yep.
And now start colorways like this right here, but it's already been around.
But nah, I can go for some Hirachi flights. I love those.
I don't know how many all red Hirachis I sold.
man.
All red Hirachis
Dude,
I've
no,
sold.
like,
them
what-
I sold them like Red Octobers. No,
What was that?
No
20
exaggeration.
What was that?
2016,
2017. Yeah, I was there and say it
Yeah.
felt like it didn't matter
Yeah,
what
it's
Nike shoe came out. If you got it in all
Red
red
Hirachis,
and you
you
worked
sold
at the
out
shoe
that
store,
week.
you
You
was
were-
probably getting about 50 pair of them and
you
selling out of them.
Low key, because I don't know who asked this. I want to say it was Clue. Shout out to Clue. He asked like which Air Max, what shoe was like a Detroit shoe. Obviously, Air Force One lows. I said like the Air Max 90s, 95s, and then I was like, yo, the Hirachi lows, or just the Air Hirachis.
I don't see a lot of
That's a Detroit
Hirachis.
shoe too.
Not now.
Not now, but like
I mean, like what to Guru's point, like you go back to like 2016,
I saw
2017.
Hirachis everywhere.
Dude,
Here,
like
nah, I can't speak for every other place.
I
but-
mean, to be honest, if you had to be some Detroit shoes, just what I've seen, worn, seen other people buy, come and go. Like, if I had to do top 10s, Griffey's,
Yep. Top 10 is definitely
Hirachis,
Detroit
Air
shoe.
Force Ones.
what was funny about the Griffeys, remember the Hirachis came right after
And
the
then,
hype of the
Jordan-
Griffeys.
like the Jordan, I feel like a lot of people buy the Jordan 3s and 5s here. A lot of people like buy 3s and 5s here.
I see 6s.
11s.
I see 6s a lot.
I mean, recently
Jordan
they've been-
6s?
Recently, they've been giving you 6s, but 3s and 5s I've seen.
I feel like Jordan's that's not unique to Detroit though.
No,
I mean, silhouette number wise, like some cities rock with the 1s more than anything else. Some,
I feel like everybody likes the 6s.
nah, I don't think
I'm
they like
really
6s.
not a 6 fan.
I'm not a 6 fan.
There you go, being a contrarian.
God,
He said he's not a 6 fan. The 6s are cool to me. I'm like neutral on them.
It's
I
funny
like
because
7s
everybody.
more.
I've heard people complain
I
about.
like 7s more as well.
Yeah.
I like that Bordeaux colorway. I don't like when they put original colors from another number on another number, but they really that
It
6
works
was
sometimes
really,
and it doesn't.
that 6 looks really nice.
Yeah,
Well, I
That 6
mean,
really looks
yeah, I mean, but at the same time, the 7 and the 6 are
similar.
Airbag.
it's some similarities
There's
to
some
them.
similarities.
So it's a little bit easier to
But
be able to make
but
that
the way they
colorway
play
work.
with the tongue, because that's a regular tongue, and the other one got the
Right.
T-top.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
And
but that's just like, so I think the black and red infrared 6, you could take that same colorway and put on the 7.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Which I wouldn't be surprised if that comes out soon.
Because I think even Tinker, in some article or some interview, it even kind of halfway referenced like, yeah, they share some similarities.
Yeah, I was just trying to like the colorways though, because they do that all the time. But like this one looked really well. If you introduce this sneaker to someone who never seen the Bordeaux 7s, like this is really nice. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So,
I thought it was good,
Well,
which is why it made the list at number 4. We got the Air Jordan Retro 6 Bordeaux. Yeah, these are decent. I ain't gonna lie.
It was a very good job of pulling off that colorway, because that is a very difficult colorway to pull off, because you have to intertwine that charcoal gray, that black, that burgundy,
Exactly.
that green, that yellow.
And I wonder if that nubuck, if it's like that nice nubuck or is it?
It's
cheap
really, I've
nubuck?
seen it in person. It's really nice. It's really
And
nice.
I'm glad they added they incorporated the 3M in there too. Like I'm glad they did that, because it does give the 6s that extra something when they add the 3M on there.
I mean, a lot of people don't like 7s, so people like 6s when they do 7s. So this
That's what makes it weird to me. Like
This
Gino or Sam the opposite.
Yeah.
this will make people who
I don't know
don't
how you
care
can
for
like the
7s.
6s and not the 7s.
I mean, I like 7s. To me, 7s fit better than me.
That's why I like 7s more than 6s. 6s
Sixes-
have a very, very odd fit.
Yeah, but
They more. It's funny because I think the 7s look, in comparison, I think the 6s are sleeker. They have a sleeker look.
my only beef with the 7s, and this is, I mean, 2002.
They kinda
I
like
had
a
the
sports
French
car, like, for
Blues.
real.
I had the Raptors. Like I like 7s, but it's just that upper part where they're like your last 2 eye states at the top.
Yeah.
Once that part gets flimsy,
Oh, it's
it makes
over with.
Yeah, it makes
It's
your
a
shoe
wrap.
look terrible.
No, for sure.
But that's why you gotta lace them up. Just don't go up to that last hole.
Yeah, no, I mean, but 6s just, I don't know, like the way the fit, just the eye fit for me.
And you got rocking right with your jeans.
What, 6s?
Yeah, it's
That's
no tucking
also-
it behind
yeah.
the tongue on those 6s.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's also my problem, because like, a lot of times, like probably prior to maybe like 2018, I was always wearing my shoes loose. So like 6s, you kind of can't really wear completely loose,
Yeah.
because you want to keep the
the lace.
yeah,
thing.
lace lock. Yeah,
See, I put it at the bottom though. I always.
I
do
will
that.
say this though.
I don't
take
feel
every
like
lace
doing
lock
that.
off. I hate
yeah.
lace locks.
You know how much work that
That's
is? I
so
gotta
lazy.
take that off, unlace it, and
no,
go ahead.
no, I
go
never
all the way
put
to the
I never
bottom.
put my lace lock at the bottom. I always kept it at the
Oh,
top
yeah.
because it's like a shortcut for tying my shoes. Instead of tying them, I could just pull them through and adjust it whether I need them.
No, I get it. It just looks.
But
right
I
to
would
me.
say this: 7s look better in leather than 6s, but 7s look better. I mean, 6s look better in suede than 7s.
Every lace lock I have ages or yellows too fast.
Yeah, so
that
all
one
the,
comes
the
pre-yellow,
infrared
so you'd be
6s, like
good.
all the suede 6s were better than suede 7s. But to me, all the leather 7s were better than leather 6s.
I
You
think
probably
about
beef
that.
with
Leather
me.
7s
But you
are
said
better.
something.
Olympic 6s, huh?
You
Probably.
said the leather 7s are better.
Yeah, I like the leather 7s better than the leather 6s.
Okay.
I mean,
like the
Olympic
suede.
6s.
Ooh, I don't know because them maroon boys are nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
the
Olympic
maroon
6s have a Olympic 6s just have a. For
They're
me,
not-
for a person that doesn't really like 6s that much, like I like the
I
look
like
of the
them.
Olympic.
It's
They're
just
not
that
for
they
sevens,
feel like
though.
dress shoes after a while, man. Like that cushion does not last long, and I love Olympic 6s. I love Olympic
Over the
6s.
sevens?
What over the? Yeah, I'll take the Olympics.
yeah,
I would
that's a tough
say
one.
the 6s look better, but
That's a tough
I would
one.
take the 7s because I feel like I get more wear out the Olympic 7s.
As long as they're
They-
not 8s. I cannot stand 8s.
Oh boy,
You sound like him now.
Nah, I like eggs. I just,
No, you
I call
don't.
them
Come on.
Time
Why you
out.
not
I
mad
never
at that?
said. Hold on. Wait,
Yes,
wait,
you did.
time out.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I never said
I'm
that I
not
didn't
sure
like
what I
eggs.
just did.
What I said was they're like boots. That's all I said. They're like boots.
And then
That
you
didn't-
are- you
I like
constantly-
boots.
Then you,
You
said you
constantly
gonna wear
diss
my
'em.
rainy
I never
days. Like,
constantly-
come on.
That was just to mess with Jumpman.
Well, I wear my 11s as boots.
Huh?
I wear 11s on snow days.
Yeah, you shovel your snow. That's just ridiculous.
So that's ridiculous for him to
I
do
don't shovel my
that.
snow. I don't shovel my snow. I don't even treat them like that. I said they had light boots.
You treat H like galoshes.
No,
Like, that's not cool.
No,
You just said you do.
No, I don't. What I said was, see, now you taking stuff I said, you trying to make it sound like I said something else. What I said was, H are like boots. So like fall days when it's cooler and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna wear them. Like if it's a hot day, I'm not wearing no H's because my feet are gonna be on fire.
Your feet could be on fire in some 6s too.
Well, then at least got that vent hose though on the side.
Well,
But they don't have to when they don't have this.
Your feet don't be on fire in no 13s?
Actually, they are.
All those shoes ain't.
It's funny you mention it.
That's what you're saying, man. Like, look, you think about.
But no, them 8s for real though. I mean, even Michael was. I mean,
them 9s make you hot. Them are the most uncomfortable.
That is the 9s. I agree.
The 9s are probably
the
most
9s are
uncomfortable Jordan, and I like the.
The way they make the 12s
now
now is uncomfortable. I don't know what they doing, but they need to go back to the old way.
13s probably to me. 13s, 14s are the most comfortable Jordans to me.
Agreed.
3s and 4s.
14s are nice.
sure.
Yeah, 14s.
3s and 4s are pretty.
3 and 4s are honorable mention. It's just that
3 is most comfortable.
15s are comfortable too, low key. It's just not everybody's favorite looking shoe.
It's not as comfortable.
Nah, it's comfortable. Dog.
It's not as comfortable as a
I think
14.
it's like full of zoom in there.
It's not as comfortable as a 14 though.
Yeezy.
Oh,
all right, next.
Easy out comfortable though.
No, real quick. I want to ask you.
They dropped this week. You copying?
Yeah, I'm getting them black ones.
Yeah,
I'm getting those black ones. I said it. I already said it.
Yeezys.
I'm getting the black ones.
The Black Quantum, the basketball one.
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna shoot. I mean, it's right. I'm probably not gonna
what?
Yeah, he said it when we did that when it
What?
coming out.
I did.
Yeah,
They're gonna sit, so
you
it's
gonna
not
have a
gonna
good
be
chance.
tough.
I like them though.
You think so?
Hey,
Hold on.
honestly, you can get them cheaper on StockX 2 weeks later.
Wait a minute.
I'm calling it now.
I got mine to
that
retail.
shoe's
I got
not,
the frozen blues. I got mine to retail.
Did the temperature
that
drop
shoe's
outside?
not gonna do numbers.
Is it getting cold?
I
early?
It's all black.
I mean, it
You
is
gonna
Michigan.
I think once you buy that pair, you might buy another one because you're gonna like the how it's comfortable.
No, but I've never argued that. I've never argued as far as the comfort because I never worn them, and I trust
He's gonna get the
everybody's
Croc
word.
ones after.
I was gonna say we gonna see.
It never was about the comfort for me because I trusted y'all on it.
I'm talking about that silhouette. You
And
might
plus,
buy another color.
Boost is comfortable as hell. Like so, I ain't never had a beef with the Boost part.
We gonna show up in some Fear of God shorts next.
Nah.
With his Yeezy Quantums on.
Nah, you just going too far. Don't
I
fight
mean, it's not
words,
too
sir.
far because
I mean,
they from Chicago. They work together.
But no, I'm just
They're
saying,
nice.
like, for every rule there's an exception, and that's gonna be my exception. I'm getting those black Quantos because I thought they looked decent. They don't like this. How you know I'm fair? Like, right? I could just easily sit there and hate them just because they Yeezys.
That's what you have been doing.
Nah, I mean they've been typically trash.
You picked a shitty pair of Yeezys to hop on.
You kind of did in reality.
They all black. Ain't nothing shitty about them. Like
That's
that.
what makes
the
it
silhouette,
shitty.
the silhouette itself.
I need all that other dumb shit y'all.
Nah,
want.
come on. I mean, he's a bigger guy, so he wouldn't look right in no 350s.
I don't want none of them dumb shit.
They
he
all
wouldn't
wear
look
them.
in
Like
350s.
they
He
all
wouldn't look
wear
right in
them.
no 350s.
I would never wear some 350s.
I mean, the
those-
quantum basketballs are
Indian
nice.
moccasins.
I like them. I'm a big fan of them.
If I want some moccasins, I could just go get some. For
I mean,
way
you got
cheaper.
those Waterspoons.
Well,
Look like
right. There you go.
I mean, again, it's every
I ain't tried them
recycled
on
shoe.
yet.
You think those are better than 350s?
Do I think those? That particular shoe, I would buy. I mean, obviously, I bought it, so yeah. In
You
general,
think those
I don't know how the comfort is. You got me scared.
I'm just saying, I like ZXs, but ain't nothing like some Boosts.
A
So,
three-
No,
a-
I'm saying
The
I will
Yeezy
agree.
380 is probably
Boost-
the most comfortable Yeezy.
But we're not talking. I mean, I never argued the comfort though. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody says the same thing about Yeezys, how comfortable they are. I believe them at their word.
But I'm saying even amongst the different Yeezy silhouettes, I think 380 is superior to his other models in terms
as far
of
as
comfort.
comfort?
Yeah, but the worst look,
believe
it's like
you.
the mid-top cut.
Yeah, 380s are really nice.
No, I believe you. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to debate it. Like I mean, I've never tried them on.
See,
so
when
I
you
can't
sell
tell you.
everything, you at least get to try them on.
Right, that's what I'm saying. This is why.
So doesn't that mean you're not
shoes
selling
gonna
a
be
dead stock? Wait, what? Don't say that. Yeah, you come on, man.
I'm saying I tried
Look,
them.
edit that part out.
No, I'm saying I would never buy 380s, but I got them, was curious, I tried them on.
Hey, and did you sell them as dead stock?
Yeah, of course.
So what is dead stock in your book?
Shout out to StockX.
Hey, look, if you pass through. That's
I'm
on
just
them,
saying,
man.
I never tried them on, so I can't argue how they feel if I never tried them on. That's what I'm saying.
Try them on.
No, I will. Those
What's
quantos
number-
at least
what's
if I
number
get them. I mean, y'all said I got a good chance. So.
Try
Oh
on
yeah,
some
we're,
three.
we're,
Try
I
on some
forgot we're mid
350s.
Fab
No.
5.
Try on some
I forgot we're in
350s.
the middle of the Fab
I
Five.
know, right? Number 3, and I feel like every shoe on here, like, it just caught me off guard by surprise. But number 3, you got the Nike LeBron 18 low Stewie Griffin.
I would put the
They cool.
I would
I
put
like
the
them, but I
Moabs
still
above
want the
that.
6 though.
Huh?
I mean, it's cool. I would cop if I found a decent price, but I still want the 6 though.
That could have been
I kinda want
number
these
5.
I actually like the way these, because this ain't the first
But you
time.
don't
Well, this
like
the first time this released, right?
The
'Cause other
colorway
Stewie-
release,
Yeah,
yes.
because the Stewies came up, but that was more of a, what,
That was
PE?
PE, yes, PE.
I actually like the Stewie more on this silhouette than the other silhouette.
On the 6?
What?
Yeah,
Ah.
I do. I do.
Just go to the next shoe, man.
No, I'm just saying, it looks better on this
No, it
silhouette.
doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
But because the Stewie, because the 6 allows you to see like his pants and more of this. With the low top, is really only getting like 70 or 80% of the true design from the Stewie.
Plus, the 6 looked more cartoonish.
Yeah.
Like it felt more like it told that story of it being a cartoon. That just
these
you
feel
just
like a
slapped the colorway together.
This feels like a cartoon, though.
The 6s feel more like a cartoon.
That's because you saw like it incorporated his pants. You saw more here. It's just like 70% of the shoe. Could you look up the LeBron 6 Stewie? See if you find a picture of it. But that's why I feel like it told more of the story. This is like 80%.
Yeah,
I like these better.
the LeBron 6 Stewie was
I like these better. Sorry.
So I'm still upset that they never released that.
They probably would. What they could have if people voted
That was
right.
on a LeBron, man. That LeBron, don't get me started. on
Let's just
LeBron
look at the
bracket,
stuff
boy.
that people voted for. I think
we don't do that.
Arizona
Man,
generations that make up the
dude.
first round, bro. Like, a lot of
Dude,
y'all-
I think Daredevil
See,
have
this-
voted on
you
it.
see,
Yeah,
you got more of this.
that
story
looks
to
more
me.
like a cartoon. It looks more like
I
Stewie.
like the 18s better.
You got
bro.
more colorway.
I like the 18s better.
Even when I like, oh god, like dude.
I like the 18s better.
Yeah, that told more of the story. You got more of it.
I like the 18s better, bro.
Plus the 6 is a better shoe anyway.
I don't know.
6 was dope.
Number 2, we got the Nike Dunk Low, New York versus New York.
Nice.
Yeah, this is another. Like, I've been sleeping on sleep.
Dunks, the dunk bubbles just got to burst soon. Like, there's nothing wrong with this.
I mean,
it's
you
just
would
nothing
think.
special
No, when
with
you say
everything
that,
else.
I know.
It's
it is.
not. I feel like
It's got to be coming at some point.
it starts in this like the sneaker community, and then the people who are out of it, who are casual sneaker people, then it gets to them. So right now, amongst us, we may be over dunks, but when I be in the stores, people be looking for the dunks who are casual sneaker people, and be looking for the dunks and be wanting them. So yeah, to us it may be about the bot, but for them, they just hitting their stride with it.
Yeah, but you can only do so many different colorways with the
You do a
dunk.
lot
You know what it is?
Reverse,
It's the
reverse.
You know what it is?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's really not
The Pollens, the reverse Wu-Tang, the Iowa Maze,
Yeah.
whatever.
You know what, and that's what it is.
High
It's
top,
the
low
fact that they're
top.
doing it back to back to back to back. If they release one and then went to another silhouette, and if they put some silhouettes or some releases between the dunk releases, it probably wouldn't be as much. But it just seems like every week is like 2 or 3 dunk drops.
But I mean, at the same time, though, I'm pretty sure
they dropping 2 a day, like in some instances. It's
Probably,
like,
it probably
goddamn.
doesn't. It probably takes pennies to be able to produce that, and they
But
produce
also,
it in
too, it's
the
like-
quantities that they're
Probably.
It's
producing
very hard.
too.
It's very hard to obtain, so that's probably why they dropping like that because they know only a certain amount.
I
of people
know.
don't get
But
it.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, to Dunk's point, I am getting tired of seeing. This was a standout to me, but I do get tired of
I mean,
seeing.
I do want a pair. I'm still looking for a decent color pair, but
Dude, I used to have
Decent
so many
price.
pairs of dunks. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I
Like, I
had some.
had so many
I had
pairs
the
of them.
highs. That's what the ones I had.
I had highs.
Yeah, the
I had
highs.
lows.
I had more
I had
highs than-
I had mids. Like, I had a bunch of dunks.
The only mids I have left in my collection would be the Three Bears, the Mama pair.
The Mama Bear. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. Oh man,
What do I got? I got
them was.
I got the purple box joints.
You know
I got
what
the
mids I kind of
cork.
like? Social Status. I don't know if they're the chocolate milks or the donuts. I've
I
heard
think it's
different
the
nicknames.
donuts.
But Social
The ones
Status.
that they just put out.
They delayed the drop till the 10th for whatever reason, but I don't know if it's coming in adult sizing. But those are the first mids that caught my attention in a minute, and they got the jewel swoosh, which throws me off.
Yeah,
Well, that's
They
probably
not bad.
because they don't have a strap on them, do they?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I
I
think
know
that's-
SB mids usually do, but I don't
Yeah.
think these do.
I hate the strap on them.
You gotta get the
Pause.
strap.
Wow.
Where's the two things? Where's the belt?
Well, I got a kid, so
So does every dude in Atlanta. But no, point is,
whoa, all of them. Yeah, you about to get a negative review on that
Man,
one, man.
terrible. You see that?
The ones-
Terrible.
the ones in hiding. Look, the point is,
You're terrible, bro.
They not hiding in Atlanta.
the point is, no, because I was trying to think about the dunks I had, because like it's to Guru's point, because he was talking about the ones he had, and like I'm sitting there thinking, like, dang, like I got a number of dunks too. It's just like I never. It's funny when you buy shoes because you actually like them and you're not riding the wave, how it doesn't stand out to you as much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like 2007. That was the last time.
Dude, when I first started working at Puffer Reds, and everybody was selling that Air Force One kick, that's when I was buying dunks because I was like,
Air
they
Force
kind of
One
look.
kit?
No, everybody was like still buying Air Force Ones.
Oh.
So I'm like, look, I like dunks because for one, it's a shoe that doesn't cost as much. I can get more of them, and it's a shoe nobody else has.
Because I sold a couple pairs that I had. I had the ones.
Say that again.
What was it? The paparazzi joints.
The high tops.
What did you do?
With the
What did you do with them?
I
Resold.
sold them. I didn't even sell them for that much.
Doesn't matter. You still resold them, right?
Secondary.
I mean, wait
secondary
a minute. Hold
market.
up. So does price determine if you're a reseller or not?
Where did you sell them at?
Huh?
Where did you sell them at?
eBay or Go.
Probably say eBay.
It sounds like they were used, so I'm going to bet
they were
eBay
used.
or
I wore
Go.
them I wore them, and then I was just like, I just fell out of love with them.
Those are the high tops with stars on them, right?
So doesn't that make you a reseller?
it's a
But I didn't
medium.
get so there was the two. Because there was the one that came out the skate shop, and then there was the one
You
that
had the
general
regular
release.
one?
I got the regular.
I had
ones.
the regular one too. I sold those as well.
And then
Normies.
the ACG ones.
The new AC. There's three ACG.
No, the ones that came out a while ago.
Purple.
They were like all tan with the black swoosh.
I'm not entirely sure.
You know what I'm talking about? I sold those, but everything else I kept though.
But you sold them, right?
Oh, kiss my ass, bro. Oh goodness! Yeah, I didn't buy them with that.
Hey, you can't be starting, but bickering with C's. He got his Pistons jersey on. He ready for another Malice in the Palace. So.
He don't have a sheet or a Ben Wallace jersey, so I think we good.
Ripper's down on the court like, hold me back. And then number one, and your boy was wearing this in the movie. I don't know if you caught it.
They make this in your size?
No, the women's Air Jordan Retro 4 Shimmer. He was wearing it at the end.
I thought he had on military force.
Nah.
What movie are you talking about?
Because I know he had fours on.
Yeah,
I couldn't see which one.
Yeah.
That's all right.
That was cool. It's a nice shoe.
Yeah, Off-White 2.0.
But I feel like these. I feel like these may be a little better because you have a little bit more chance of more wears out of them. Because that Off-White one, like that, from people I heard who have them, they said, man, once it gets dirty, it's like a task to get them back.
Right. Well, shout out to the ladies. I do like when Jordan Brand. Now, only thing, if I had to nitpick about anything, the tongue. Like I get I guess they were going for a more premium thing with the metallic Jumpman on the tongue, but I just love that flight patch on there. But I do like when Jordan Brand actually gives us different colorways instead of some variation of some, usually black, white, and red, or some OG colorway. So when they do decide to pick up a different crayon out the crayon box, usually.
Well, usually they use the 24 count, not the 64.
Usually they use the 8
I'll
count,
say the shoes are right, but I wouldn't have made it number one.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
I mean, what we had to choose from, I probably would have put the Bordeaux above this one.
I can see that. I mean, you could. I could see you could interchange them. I thought these were cool. To Gru's point, I felt like I would get more words out of these.
But I feel like it's not another silhouette on this list to knock this 4 off.
That's what I was saying. Like it would have been, the Bordeaux 6 just because of I think it's more to it.
We got
tells
a slow
bit more of
week
a
coming
story,
up too.
Huh?
We got a slow week coming up too.
I feel like it's been a slow.
Well, not really because he got his Yeezys coming out.
Not for
he
Z's,
got
slides.
man.
Well, he getting those too.
You talking about the slides?
I thought he was getting the Quantums and the slide. He getting the Quantums and the
The
slides.
Quantums are gonna sit on shelves. The slides will sell out. There's 3
I'm
colors
just trying
of
to figure out
slides
why you so
dropping.
sure they're gonna sit. Like what?
They don't.
Because I
telling
just
you,
watched
they
trends.
sit.
I mean, I know I trust you. I just wanted to. I didn't know if you want to
Yeah,
elaborate.
because people
The
don't
first
like
pair
the
was
one don't
the
resell.
first pair was the only one that did well, and then they re-released it 3 times.
But yeah, the other ones don't.
Isn't that
resell.
what they did
It
with
was the
Zebra
blue one.
350s?
The blue one was the first one to go below retail,
That's the one I got, the black and blue one.
and then they had I think they had a colorway called Barium, which pretty much was just like broke even or stayed at retail.
Because these are coming out on a confirmed app.
Well, but anything that drops on the confirmed app is also going to drop live on Yeezy Supply, where you have better odds.
On Yeezy's boy.
Yeah.
Nice to know. Okay.
And if you have trouble on Yeezy Supply using an Amex credit card, guaranteed it'll work.
C's don't pay with cards. Straight
No,
cash,
straight
homie.
cash. And he, he happy because they said the border's about to open
Yeezy
up.
Supply will rate limit or like your card won't work sometimes. So I'm saying if you have an Amex, it'll always go through.
I was waiting for it.
Or he do the barter systems, fair trade.
Yeah.
Now I'll front you these.
Wow. Friends like y'all.
But upcoming they've got the another pair of the Sakai fragments, right? And then did you see Klotz also doing a fragment pair? Or a Sakai pair?
You know what the thing? You know what? There's so many fucking shoes coming out.
Oh, good move.
3 brand collabs.
That's what happens when you have a game on. Look at Gino's eyes.
My bad.
Right.
Sorry, folks.
You know, I got so many shoes in my head that it's like, I can't, honestly, right now, I can't even tell you. I can't even picture what you're saying right now, but.
Well, pretty much we saw a fragment Nike Sakai do a drop, and they're doing another one this week.
It's going to look like every typical Sakai?
But now Klot's doing theirs, which is literally just Klot, Nike Sakai, and it's just all orange.
I feel like the same brands are just recycling each other for collabs.
I know, man.
I know y'all guys. I mean, if you look at music, it's the same thing. The same people do songs together. Once it works for one.
True. Which that gets tiring too, though.
Yeah. So
does anybody remember the Macarena?
Yes.
Remember I don't know if y'all remember, but then they had a remix to a remix to a remix, and like the song got old very quickly. I mean, the song wasn't gonna last long anyway, but
the Macarena.
Yeah.
I mean, it has lasted.
It's one of the most classic songs of all time.
Yeah, okay. Point is, though,
I bet you Rolling Stone would say it's in the top 100.
Man, dude, that's if you trust Rolling Stone.
What's wrong with Rolling Stone?
They got a lot of stuff wrong. I think they had Beyonce over Stevie Wonder.
Do you got a pocket full of stones?
Say what?
Do you got a pocket full of stones?
I hate Guru.
Shout out to UGK.
I really do. I hate Guru with a passion.
Pocket full of stones.
And he's tickled by this. He is tickled.
Go ahead, man.
I hate the fact that he laughs at his own jokes.
Go ahead.
I hate that.
Man, go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to even say now, you son of a bitch.
Beyonce.
No, yeah, was that Rolling Stone or was that Billboard?
See, look, you dissing. You don't even know which
I think it
magazine
was
you
Rolling
dissing.
Stone. I think it was Rolling Stone. That's if people still read the magazine.
Digital.
Yeah, I know it's online now. The blog.
Yeah, exactly.
Rolling Stone blog. Ugliest release of the week, and I just needed a shoe. We got the Eric Emanuel Adidas Exhibit A.
Oh,
really?
Wow. I didn't even know.
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked, man.
You know,
they gave you a
you've been
free
getting
shoe
so
and then
much
you turn around and
praise.
dump 'em.
No, I get
Yeah.
praise not one shoe guy. Like, calm down. Calm down.
I mean, this is within
I
the
said
same
one shoe.
family.
I ain't say he couldn't do no wrong.
Dang.
They didn't gift you those?
Everybody fallible.
They didn't gift you those?
I would have gifted them right back to Kicks for Kids or somebody.
Or you would have sold them?
I would have gave them to
Probably
somebody. I would have donated them.
Sell them at a loss just to get rid of those things.
He would have had a little baggie in there too.
Right.
Probably use it for a stash box. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, Adidas having trouble selling these. Why would I try to sell them?
I mean, you can use them for other things.
You can use the box for other
Size
things
15
for
can carry-
transport.
Size 15 can carry a lot of
I hate you
contraband.
too.
Yeah.
I hate both of y'all. But no, this shoe.
Duct tape it all the way up, and
But
you put
yeah,
like
but now
you put the Vaseline all over the
Hey,
box
but
so
what-
the dog can't sniff it.
Hey, yeah, that's what I blueprint too. But guess what though?
Y'all know way more about this than I do.
But this is what he probably doing. He probably buying a whole bunch of stand back and just emptying out and replacing it with other substances.
Y'all know way more than I do. That's the funny part.
We learn from you.
You know, but you're
Hey,
not gonna
wait,
say.
hold up. What's the old saying? You've forgotten more about this than we could never learn.
Exactly. Got a house on the hills or G-Wagon. We know how you get
But
that.
no, this shoe. Everybody's thoughts.
It's all right. Now, no, it gives me
Ain't got nothing
You know
to
what it
say.
reminds me of? It reminds me of
Thermomaps
Thermomaps.
foams. Give me
Yeah.
quite a glimpse of those.
Which were
But
horrible. The pink was way worse.
they all right. They ain't. I've seen uglier shoes, but they all right.
The pink foams?
No, I'm talking about this.
Oh, I was like, man.
No,
what?
that
had to be the
thermal
ugliest
foam
shoe
closet
ever.
might be the ugliest shoe ever. Ugliest shoe ever.
Pull them up, please.
Ever.
Can you look up pink? Oh, it wasn't Thermomaps though.
It was
What
It was a
Thermomaps.
thermal
Was it
map. You
Thermomaps?
thinking of the
Thermomaps foam
weatherman?
closet.
I'm thinking about the weather.
Yeah,
Okay,
the thermal map was worse.
I have the
Thermomats.
Weathermans.
Yeah, the weathermans were cool.
They almost killed the foam posit line.
That thermal map, man.
Thermal maps were
I almost
trash.
threw every foam posit line
remember
on
we-
the way. Like, yo,
I
don't even
remember
wanna
at
be
the store we kept saying it looked like
connected to
it looked like when Dave Chappelle did the Sesame Street, like herpes. Like it looked like herpes on the
Right.
shoe. Yeah, that's horrible.
Once again, lead us up. I want to know
Who bought these?
No, because I already know we got certain people watching. I just want to ask this question. This sat on the table in front of some people.
This trip about to be canceled.
And they okayed it. I just want to know. I just got a serious question. I want to know, how does this sit on the table and get the okay to release? Meanwhile, there's shoes that we know exist, like PEs and otherwise, that will never see the light of day. But yet, somebody thought, yo, these are dope. We should sell these in stores.
Well,
I just want to know.
That was probably like, look, we done did the infrared color so much. Why don't we take infrared to a new level?
Boy. And I actually seen I've seen a few people wearing these, and I'm just like...
Did you see them wearing them with the socks?
No.
Oh, you ain't see the Nike Elite thermal map
Oh
socks?
yeah, I remember this. Stance did the.
Don't remind
Stance did some weatherman.
It
socks,
was like
too.
people was walking around with 3rd-degree burns. That's what this shoe looks like, and it was terrible.
Oh, boy.
And it was terrible.
Okay. Yeah, take the shoes off. I can take them away. I can't even.
Take them away.
Take them away. I can't even look at them right now. Let's get to this Guru's thing, because I actually thought that was a pretty dope idea. So a community forum. And so Guru had the bright idea, like I said earlier, where, let's talk about, because we always segue and talk about different things, sports, music, whatever. And so I guess we had to pick 5 of our favorite albums. Didn't have to be necessarily our 5.
I sort of
albums
misunderstood. I didn't pick top albums. I just tried to get creative and match sneakers
okay, that's fine too.
That's still cool, though.
That's fine.
Because I posted mine. You guys all had some good ideas. I posted mine and instantly got roasted.
No, because
Who
I
roasted you?
think it was more about finding albums that correlated with
Just
sneakers.
attack me like fucking.
I think it was more about the
dogs.
exercise than it was about making a
Was
point.
it just a brain challenge?
No, just So Guru, I guess you can go first. I mean, since
No, I'll
it
go
was
ahead.
your
I'll go
idea.
last like a rap verse in the 90s. So go ahead.
All right, well, don't go first then.
I don't even remember all my choices. All
There
right.
you go. There you go.
So we got
So we
Thug
start-
Motivation with the Black Forces.
It's very Black Forces-esque, I guess.
I put this together
The
pretty
last song on the
quick.
album's called Black Forces. So I mean,
So, but anyways, I don't think anyone will challenge me on that.
I remember what I wrote.
Documentary with the red Converse.
Makes sense.
It doesn't have to be red, but either way, that's the vibe I got.
It probably does have to be red
Now,
for game.
Man, I wish you
This-
put more effort into it, finding a colorway. but-
This I made jokingly. I didn't realize it was favorite albums, but we had recently put the I forgot what you call them, but the Jurassic Park Reebok was like the worst shoe we'd ever seen on our worst 5. So I put it with the Macho Man album, Be a Man, because that's the worst album I've ever heard.
You actually listened to it?
Actually, you know
I've
what? You
heard
did put some
songs
thought
from
into
it.
this. Okay.
And then I had to do 2 Kanye albums, and 808 and Heartbreaks I paired with Nike, and Yeezus I think was around the time.
Why do it look like fake Yeezys though?
I did this pretty quick, but if it's fake, shout out StockX. And the other one, I think
do look like
Yeezus,
look like
I think
the
was
Walmart
around
one.
the
Yeah, I was gonna
time
say.
he started working with Adidas. So even though the Turtle Dove's not one of my favorite colorways, I think that it's one of the pioneer colorways are important during that time period.
got you.
Okay.
So other than the Macho Man, I took this pretty seriously.
Got
I
you.
mean, but you even still made a correlation between
And colorways were taken into consideration as well.
Were they?
Yes.
Because you started off by saying the Chucks didn't matter.
Well, I'm saying like any Chuck would apply, but I did purposely pick red.
Like I said, for game, I feel like you would have had to pick red.
Yeah.
I think on the album he's wearing black, but
But
Probably
he is-
wearing red because he's
but it's
blood.
It's affiliation state.
zoom in,
for,
I can't tell.
I don't remember, but I mean, he's still a blood, so you know.
But
Oh.
Dunst is a C color.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
wearing black on the cover.
Okay, all right.
But he spoke of red chucks in his song though, so
You definitely couldn't put navy blue chucks up.
yeah. I mean, you might have.
I
he was a
know
good
at
friend of
least well enough
Nipsey,
not to
so-
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, good job, Dunks.
All right, Jenny, you want to
If we get them up there.
go? No, just start off with the album.
Oh well, I remember one of my albums I
Well, I
picked
guess-
was
He got him.
one of my albums I picked. One of my favorite albums of all time is Thriller, Michael
So I
Jackson.
knew somebody was gonna pick that. That's why I did.
Yeah, so that's why I used the Swarovski Crystal Air Max 97 kind of
What?
correlation with his glove.
I mean, Slam. I'm gonna give you that. Man.
Oh wow! Wait, hold
give
it.
you
Wait,
that.
the slam what?
I'm gonna give you that.
Huh?
Cameron
Say
needs
it
to see
again?
this. We need to
Because
see
honestly,
this.
I
Say-
did not.
Wait, say it.
I said
Slam?
it once.
Slam?
I said it once,
Wait,
bro.
Look, we
Slam?
all three. We gotta do it together.
Nah.
The power. I'm feeling like Thanos when he got over the stuff. But yeah, no. So that was that one.
You more like Captain Planet than Thanos, but go ahead.
Wow. I think the next one I had on there was Camp Low, Uptown Saturday Night. One of my favorite
shout
rap
to Camp
albums.
Low.
Yeah, so I used the Sean Wotherspoon. They had a real 70 type vibe to the album. So I'm like, that shoe kind of really brings a lot of that out. And then I did Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. I mean, that's an easy one. Rockefeller Air Force One.
Yeah, you put a lot of effort in this.
So.
Look at Cruz's face.
And then how do you go to the next one? Because I'm trying to remember what all I had. Oh yeah, 400 Degrees, one of my favorite albums ever. They was all wearing Reeboks at the time. They was all rocking Reebok Classics. So that's what they was wearing down there with that. And then the last one, not even a gym shoe, but Mobb Deep, the infamous album. Wheat Timberlands,
you got three Tims on there though.
Yeah, because if you getting stumped by one, it's gonna feel like you're getting stumped by three of them at once. So
that's true.
Yeah, so there we go.
All right. Well, I knew somebody was gonna go with Thriller, so I picked another Michael Jackson album. I picked Bad, and I got the Air Jordan 17s. This was very as soon as I saw these shoes, they instantly reminded me, especially with the way the video starts. It starts from his feet, and it kind of.
I gotta say with the 17s though, it's my favorite silhouette, but I don't like the suede black pair.
So I like the suede over the black ones. I mean, over the black leather ones.
I like the black low. Rest in peace is a pair I had that crumble.
Damn.
Yeah, that's on my Instagram page. Yep.
One of my favorite albums of all time is the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I got the Air Max 90 cork with these.
That's creative.
And I was just like, I wanted with this album. I was just obviously I took a lot of inspiration from the album covers too, but Air Max 90. Like you see a lot of girls, especially in New York, wearing Air Max 90s, and I thought this was kind of a fun. Because our album, her
album was fun?
Dude, her album just, obviously you got the slow jams on there.
So far, I'm most impressed by that pairing.
No, I love Lauryn Hill. I can listen to her album all the way through.
C's has a soft side.
No, Lauryn Hill is the bomb. Like, there's certain albums like Stevie. I can't think of the name of the album.
That's the one. You bag your dope up to Stevie Wonder?
You funny.
Blindly.
Fuck you.
You're gonna put a little too much in this bag.
You funny. I got a Jay-Z album, In My Lifetime Volume 1. That's one of my favorite Jay-Z albums. I got the Cap and Gown, Jordan 11s.
Very slept on album.
Very slept on album. This is when he kind of graduated from the streets and became official. So, Cap and Gown joints. Machiavelli, that's another album I could listen all the way through. I first thought was some Tims, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stick to gym shoes, and so I went with the Wheat Adidas Forum High OG Wheat. Thought that, and I think he wasn't. He wore the Jordan 9s. We've seen him in pictures of the Field of Grand Hills and stuff. I could actually see him wearing those. That's another thing too.
See that?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then my last pick is Life After Death, which is another great double album. And I could have went with All Eyes on You with Tupac, but I felt like that would have been too obvious. But this one, once again, as far as rap albums are concerned, man, find me a track that don't hit on this album.
But why with that sneaker?
Because it just kind of, one, I was thinking of a sneaker. When I thought of the shoes, I was thinking of one, something I could picture the artist wearing. And then, like I said, I took inspiration from the actual album. And so, I thought about, because I saw Groove's pick, and I thought about that. But then I was trying to think, could Biggie squeeze his feet in those? And I just thought these would I could actually see him wearing these.
So you did yours after mine.
No, I did yours. I did mine before yours. When you sent yours, I did glance, and I was thinking about that, but then I was like, but I just think that I could picture Biggie in those more than I could picture your picks. But
gotcha. You can put, for my list, you can just pull whatever shoe up, and I'll just go. So, Reasonable Doubt, I did the questions.
No, I was going to ask you why.
So, okay, 96, both releases. Both came in the game during, Jay came in the game at Biggie and Pac's prime, right?
Right.
And then the question came in the middle of the Jordan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jordan, Nike basketball era, right?
Okay.
So, and then this shoe didn't get its credit to afterwards, just like the album.
Of course, Guru put the most thought into this.
Dude, I was going to see where he was going to go with it. He actually,
it's only Guru.
Yeah, I mean, this is idea. So I mean, he might,
I mean, so that's why everybody go back and say, oh, the Iversons, the questions when they classic shoe, but when initial release, they didn't give it that attention or notoriety because they was caught up in the Biggie and Pac, rightfully so. But
right.
So that's
let me ask you this real quick: do you think Jay-Z has the same career if they was both still alive?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know
because you got to think every other rapper that came. He's steady did his own thing, whether it be DMX's, to the Lauryn Hills, to the Drakes, to all these other.
But they were all trying to get established too, though.
You can, because here's my thing: Pac and Biggie, they both was in the same rapper, and they still one of them didn't stop each other's success.
But Biggie would have shined over Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Because they would actually had the commission.
Him and Pac might have went different ways.
That would have been too. But also too, when you look at it,
remember when Clark Kent told us he made it that diss song? I'm still to this day.
Yeah, that was like the pilot, but they never recorded it.
I know, I would love to hear that.
But yeah, I think so, because Michael Jackson and Prince still coexisted. Like people, I don't know why people think because one person is blowing and succeeding, the other ones can't. So I mean,
not to say he couldn't be successful. I'm just saying would it be the same though?
I mean, he has a close relationship
because
with
he became like the unquestioned like.
Because he was
unquestioned.
Yeah. What?
I mean, you had Nas.
But
I was going to say, don't say
but Nas was out before Biggie and Pac, but they still flourished. I mean, all three still did well. So
yeah.
But you're gonna put up the next
one.
Don't
shit on Nas.
So I did Life After Death. To me,
Nas
this
is killing it with a cigar company now.
Nas killing it. Period.
So I did Life After Death Biggie album with this DMV packaging, from the packaging.
Yeah.
To us, this is one of the first times where we received a double package, and it was just classic, from the packaging to the shoe to the story.
Yeah, he's deep.
I'm saying he put a lot of thought.
Like that, to me, like that's why I feel like that was.
I feel like a slacker.
And to me, even like I was arguing with somebody the other day. That's like, to me, that's still the best double disc rap album ever.
Oh, Life After Death.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So it's like that was just
hands down.
I don't know. Wait,
hands down.
Yeah,
it's better than all out.
Because you got to think. Okay, you got to think about Outkast.
But that album has no skips. There's no song that you're questioning.
I agree, but I mean the Outkast album was hard too. And then
All
Eyes on Me though. Like
it's not better than Life After Death, man.
It's not better. Life After Death had album cuts. It had the hits. It was just completely.
They neck and neck to me. I don't know if I can rank one over the other one. I just me personally.
So that's why I kind of,
because I can listen to both albums all the way through.
So that's why that's why I put that one. It was just like, and then other packages came after it, Jordan packages, and those packages were trying to live up to the hype of that DMP pack. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing with other rap double disc albums.
Yeah, another
Street
double
Disciple, Blueprint 2, Scorpion, like all the other rap albums. So.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It is amazing though.
So I did this Wale Ambition. So Wale just joined MMG. LeBron just joined Miami
Nights.
Yeah,
like the song.
I thought you was gonna go with a phone on these. Okay.
This album was mostly recorded in Miami. It gives you that Miami feel. So does the shoe. So
damn,
it's just that people start giving Wale started getting the attention he kind of been deserving. When
I feel like you hired a private investigator to do this.
I told you he was up late.
I'm not up late. I did this in like 10 minutes.
Give me his tax return.
I mean, I'm a fan. I listen to all these artists, so I like shoes. So, but that was, and then Wale joined MMG. He was starting to get some of the attention that he deserved, and LeBron got to Miami, starting to get some of the high, deeper playoff success. So that's why I chose those two to kind of correlate.
Right.
And then people to this day say who are not like hardcore Wale fans say that's their favorite Wale album, and the people who are not hardcore LeBron fans.
I like his old Seinfeld stuff.
LeBron 8. So, yeah, I mean, I do like people who really like him, but
people say that Ambition is his.
People say they like Ambition. That was theirs. So
I mean, good album.
Yeah, great. It was a very good album, but hardcore fans, So just like somebody who's a casual Jordan person say, "Oh, I love the 11s," but people who's really been in the sneaker community say, "I like the 3s more, 5 or 6 or something."
Yeah.
And then I think I got one more, right?
You got two more.
Okay, so I did this one, Rhythm and Gangsta Huaraches. Album is loved by men and women, just like the shoe. It's like a summertime fun feeling shoe, from Let's Get Blown to Beautiful. So I feel like that Huarache shoe kind of embodied that album.
I feel like this is the second best album. I'm just surprised
Snoop
that you
wear
picked this one
kicks like that?
No, he's with Adidas.
I feel like I can only picture him in Converse.
Yeah, no, he was with
he
Converse.
Chuck Taylor's.
Chuck Taylor's. Yeah. He had to deal with Adidas for the longest too, but yeah. So that's why I picked that one. Then
I
this
could
one,
see Snoop wearing a pair though.
right here, both dropped in the age of 18. Unprecedented to hear a dude coming into the game at 18 with this type of album. LeBron with the hype he did at with the Zoom generation. Both coveted. Both was a dope, but the follow-ups is what kind of covered up the initial release. So the LeBrons that came after this shoe got more love, and we all know it was written, but Illmatic was the one that got more attention, more love. Right. So both 18-year-old releases, both came in the game, and left a mark. So
I'm surprised. I expected Blueprint to be up there.
I really did.
I expected probably the Black album.
Wait a minute, you didn't have a Jay-Z album up there?
I did Reasonable Doubt.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I thought your Rockefeller Air Force One would have been better for the Blueprint because that's when they was wearing a lot of them. And
that's lazy though.
And then the Black, but that's when he was wearing that.
I know, I'm just saying this.
Yeah, no, but
obvious.
Well, the reason why I did it with Reasonable Doubt is just because the other part was that Air Force One just got a classic look to it, and I just felt like the way that album cover is put together, it has like a real gangster type soul, old school just vibe to it. So.
Are we able to read our comments? 'Cause I feel like we just fucking killed it.
Oh no. Sorry, what our comments look like?
Last comment was 22 minutes ago.
Thanks, Dunks.
Hey, you listeners out there suck. Comment.
But that was fun.
I'll shit on the listeners.
That was good though. Yeah.
No, that was
that was a good idea. I actually like that.
Cause trying to think, dude. Yeah,
but I got up all night. I did that list in 10 minutes, literally.
I mean, there's certain stuff like just knowing you that I expect. Like, I'm actually shocked to see a Nas album up there
because I had to make sure.
Me and you, we've had our discussions on Nas and Jay. Road trip. So
yeah, Nas and Jay, but
I feel like
but it just made sense.
You think Nas and Jay?
I've fought over that before. Like,
wait. Okay, go ahead. Make a point because I think I agree with you, but for different reasons.
So,
what about what?
Nas being better than Jay-Z.
I think Nas has I've always looked at Nas as the type of artist that, in terms of comparing him to Jay-Z, he's going to be the one that's going to last longer. He's got the type of music that will actually stand the test of time because it really is timeless music. Jay is more of
Guru's face. Can we get a Guru cam for his face?
Jay's music.
Nas is consistent. Jay-Z changes up his style.
I can't even say Nas is consistent.
But you can call that growth. I would say this.
But Jay-Z seems like up until probably I would
Life
say
is Good was a little out there and different. But
I'm
besides
that, I'm gonna go past that. The Lost Tapes 2, he could have kept that. The Nasir album he did with the Kanye West production was a huge disappointment. So I mean, that's why I say I can be fair at the same time.
You know what it is? I think what hurts Nas. 'Cause I think Nas is a better rapper. I think Jay-Z is better at putting together hit songs. Because there's a difference. Because there's a lot. Once again, I use the example. There's a lot of battle rappers who can put together bars, but they don't know how to put together songs. Even Tupac talked about it. Like, you gotta have your radio hit. You gotta have your songs for the girls. You gotta be able to put songs together. It ain't just about bars. On top of that, to your point, Nas, because of that, he's had a lot of misses here and there where Jay-Z's been and
that's what I was gonna say. Nas seems like his career is just gonna have this, it's gonna be so even keel. Where Jay's is gonna go up, it's gonna have it's gonna go up, it's gonna drop, and it's gonna go back up.
You know what helps him too? His business savvy, because people correlate that to
Nas has made some moves though. Like he just launched Escobar
Jay-Z's
cigar.
Very silent,
but he ain't on no Jay-Z level.
I would say this, right? So Nas came in the game. Nas just I don't say his pen. It's just they're kind of a little different. It's just like Kevin Durant and Michael Jordan both are scorers, but they do their thing a little bit differently, but they still get a job.
Agreed.
To me, I say Nas may tell the story a little bit better, or maybe paint a picture. Well, I feel like Jay double entendre and wordplay is different. Now Jay, and when you control your business, it gives you more time to do things creatively, and you have more control over that, right?
Yeah.
So to do your albums consistently every year is what I feel like Jay is, because you can have the talent, but if you don't put it out for me to see, or if you don't do, you know what I'm saying, you don't.
But then production counts too, though, because to this point.
But whatever producer work with Jay will also work with Nas, but that also goes back to Jay as an artist knowing how to pick his beats, and that's what people knock Nas for. Nas he got with Hit Boy. So it's just like some of the things that Nas would finally took him maybe into his 40s to fine tune. Jay was doing in what, late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, well, and that's why I said I feel like Jay's career, like, you know, when I talked about he'll have his ups and his downs. Like,
that's
I mean,
what I think
you
the key
get to like.
difference is.
But like you get to like Magna Carta, Holy Grail. In comparison to like all of the other J albums, that's like
But here's my
that
thing.
one's way down.
Oh,
He
boy.
goes
Don't
right
get
back
me-
up.
don't get me
When you
wrong.
get mad at
Sorry.
Jay though, it's compared to his other work. You never say Jay album was worse than their album.
That's why I said
So,
like,
like,
but that's why I said like Nas.
Yeah.
It would be like it's just gonna be even kill like the entire time.
But
With
that's,
Jay's,
I feel like Nas and M suffer from the same thing, where I feel like a lot of times it's the production, because the bars ain't slacking.
yeah, but I mean, when
Nas bars ain't never slack, but it's at the same time.
but
To his point,
who's picking the production?
He is, and it's like,
So-
but that's what I'm saying. I mean, he has to take some fault for that. I'm just saying, it's different when somebody like
Which
anybody
Nas
nobody
even-
ever said Nas was whack. They'll say this beat is whack, or maybe even this song is whack, but the bars are there. That's
No,
been
for sure.
consistent. Like nobody's ever said, you know, Nas ain't got it no more. It's just a matter of
When Life is Good
Well,
came out, a lot of people were trashing him.
because it's the songs. Like that's what I'm saying.
Well, I
Life is- I like Life is
Life
Good.
is
Me
was a
too.
good
I'm
album.
yes.
People Lost Tapes. Maybe some people are divided on Nostradamus. Project one of my favorite Nas record with Ronald Isley is on there.
Yeah.
Like it depends on what's out. I mean, the Stillmatic kind of gave him up. So it's like Nas is like.
Dog.
If you poke him, he'll, that's when you get on his.
The reason
Stillmatic
production
on that.
mattered. The reason we know that is because somebody can come out and absolutely say nothing, but they got a catchy hook and a good beat. That shit is going to be a hit.
I mean, but that's music.
But
That's
we're
what
talking
people
about.
buy into.
Right, but I'm saying as a rap, it's not enough just to be a rapper. You have to
Jay,
be a musician.
what
to
he
do
said
something
is
great.
that Jay don't short you on all three. You gonna get your bars, you gonna get your production. You gonna
That's
get your
exactly
song.
what it
So
is.
like,
No, and that's why I said like when you kind of compare the two, like in all honesty, it's kind of like when people want to compare basketball players. They want to say Magic Johnson was better than Michael Jordan or Jordan was better than Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, they both played the game a different way. They both played it at a high level,
Yeah.
but they both did things that maybe the other one did a little bit better, but they were both still able to do some of the same
No, they
things.
both greats. I mean, listen. I mean, they both sitting at the table.
Oh, easily.
Well, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's not
Hands
a question. But to his point, though, I just think that's why people might rank Jay higher overall, is because them beats ain't never slack.
Oh, I
bro.
mean, but people will always rank Jay higher, just in my opinion, from what I've seen, is because
I feel
of
like Jay
popularity.
gets it. Jay gets it though. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like Jay
He-
gets it. Like he gets the big picture.
Kind of like what Guru said, though.
Yeah.
He got it at an early point in his career.
Yeah.
Like very early.
He's savvy. Like I mean, you can't knock him for that. Like dude's savvy.
Yeah,
like
so-
for real. So
and,
I mean,
and he still shot, like his crew around him were good rappers, so it kind of in turn kept him on par. Like Nas was always better than everybody around him, and the Jungle Crew. Like when you got Beans doing, you got Kanye coming and Dipset coming over here rapping, and in turns it kind of keeps you on your square. You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
like,
I mean,
so-
you got Big co-signing you. I mean,
yeah,
come
and
on,
he
bro.
had
Like,
song. He was on songs with Big and was just float. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like.
But you had Big.
Brooklyn's
that was-
Finest is probably one of my favorite
But
songs.
you had Big. That was you know,
I mean,
he
Big
was
still did
cool
his
with
thing.
Nas. You know what I mean?
If
Like
Faye had two, she probably had two pots.
Yeah, that was
you get it? Two
Yeah,
Pox.
squeezed off of him. Let the Perignac just scream
Bruh.
soft on him. Who? What's your name? Who shot you? My title. They was going on crazy. on this.
Man.
And that was so crazy because I watched interviews and they said Jay did his verse then, and Biggie had to come back and do his 2 days later because he was trying to keep up with Jay. And then he was like, "Next time, I'm picking the beat."
Actually,
so
that actually was funny. Is one of Jay's lines is like so simple on there, but I always love it when he say like short sleeves, we bear arms.
yeah, that's what I said.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Squeezed off him. I left it there.
Dude, it's 1990. They probably recorded that in like 1995. It's like, dude, come on, man. Who's thinking that back then?
That's why honestly though, I mean, I know Jay-Z has said it many times, you know, he's doing better before, so why would he go back? But the point is, like, Jay-Z, like, late 90s, man, the flow, man.
I tell people all the time, like
I love
y'all-
late
Jay
90s
Nas
Jay-Z.
grown, developed, you know,
Yeah.
for the people. You know, he's like the gatekeeper for the, you know, the culture of rap.
Yeah.
But man, that you catch if you when you them subs from Jay back in the 90s was
Back in
even
the
early
first three
2000s,
albums,
he was lighting dudes up when he was
Dog.
going back and forth with Mace. He was like, man, he said, I'm the original Don Dada. For the right price, I can make your stuff hotter. I didn't see your crew in this is right after Biggie died. I didn't see your crew in a crisis before. Like, this little dude not ready for war. Like, come on, bro. You can't, like, it's just, the imaginary player about Nas, like I mean about Mace, and then they had the fake Puffy and Mace in the video.
That's my favorite song too.
Like,
That's my favorite song.
Like Jay used to catch you with it. Is that your chick? Was about Nas baby mama. Like Jay used to be nasty with it.
Ooh, like, what's the name this? That Nas this.
Oh, the Super Ugly. Yeah, that was
Super Ugly, bro. Left condoms in the baby seat, dog. I was like, come on, dog. Your mother make you apologize?
But then Nas just got real disrespectful when he got him with Ether.
Yeah,
like he went the whole
thing came
song.
after Ether though.
Yeah, but
Super Ugly came after
but Ether was so raw.
And then what I like about Jay though, because I feel like so the thing about Ether was you ain't never seen nobody
value. We ain't never seen Nas that upset.
You ain't never seen nobody really go at Jay like that.
Yeah. So that's
you ain't never seen Jay take a loss. Not even take a loss, but take a hit.
Like
you know what I'm saying?
Like
think about like a boxing match, right?
You're saying he didn't take a loss?
Huh?
You're saying he didn't take a loss?
He didn't take a loss.
He didn't take a overall. No.
Here's my thing.
He lost a round.
No, yeah, he lost a. But nobody would. I don't know another rapper that would have survived Ether.
That's true.
That's the win right there.
Because Takeover. When he broke it down, it was like you make one hot album every senior average. Dog, come on, dog. I was like,
he broke, and then that was factual. Like, when I'm gonna go play your publishing, MC Search on your publishing. Like, it was just that. But I feel like Blueprint 2 on
the song.
Yeah, when he went, that's when he really went at Nas. Can't you see that he faked the rap version of TD Jakes prophesizing on your CDs and tapes?
I liked it, but it was like
it breaks your mind. And your boy Jungle's a garden me.
You know, but it was like it was so after the fact. Like it just
no. Nas took a shot on Godson. That's why he did.
You know what it is though, because Jay be so smooth with it. Like you be so caught up in just vibing to the song that you don't be listening to what he be saying. And then we actually listen to it because like. I ain't gonna lie, when I first heard Takeover, I was just, whatever. And then when I actually like put it together, I'm like, oh damn, he might have won that shit. And then Super Ugly came out.
Yeah,
but and then, dog, this he did for the game when he went to Hot 97.
Yeah, Dear Summer. My lawyer said,
he said I got a purpose I can put your home in.
Yeah, to 50 Cent call game, like, yo, you need to chill out.
To bang, I came to bang too.
And then Jim Jones beat him in beef.
Bruh.
Jim Jones ain't beat him in beef.
He did, because he made money off of him.
He played it right, but he didn't.
He made money off of him.
But he still had to pay Jay.
He made, I mean, at the end.
He played it right, though.
What you said. He went around.
He played it.
Jim Jones should not win around against Jay-Z.
I don't think he went around.
I think Cam went around too, though.
He played it. He played his cards right by. Oh, you dissing me? I'm gonna take it, make a remix, and respond.
That is the most genius thing ever.
But I know
because you're profiting off of that.
But I know because Joe Budden did it with the Pump It Up remix when Jay did it.
So the Cam went around.
So I mean, that was the first time it was.
So the Cam went around
against Jay.
Yeah, I think he got him with that song.
That's why I said. That's why I kept saying Cam is one of the most dangerous. Cam has went at every single one of the top guys in New York.
Cam made you laugh at Jay, but
that's the only way you're gonna win against him, really.
With Jay, because his verse on that Hustling remix, I mean, they don't hear corny raps, and then on Dig a Hole. The last time you went platinum, my chain was on your neck. Like those things, those things were like.
Jay hit you with facts. That's the bad part. And even when he did the Drake thing.
Oh yeah, the Drake.
We was in Miami when you heard that, right?
Oh yeah, the Drake one. I mean, he took shots. I mean, that's just their back and forth, just competitiveness. But that I Got the Keys was about Drake.
Huh?
I Got the Keys was about Drake.
I know, but I'm just saying, when Jay decided to be petty, man, that's my favorite Jay.
But you hear his verse on the Drake album?
Mm-hmm.
You heard that?
That was pretty good.
I know.
Oh my goodness, the way
Nas could have never.
I'm trying to think who's pettier, him or Shawn Michaels.
That's very true.
Shawn Michaels.
Remember when he had that match with Hulk Hogan? And he refused to lose, so he went up there and just oversold
every move.
Go back and watch that match. This is the funniest match to watch with that in hindsight. Anyway, we got this interview. We were blessed to have former Nike designer Rick Maderis on the show, man. Man, that was probably one of my favorite interviews. Like we had a great discussion. We talked about a lot of stuff. It's long, but it's well worth the watch. Here's what our discussion looked like. All right, we have a very, very, very special guest today. This is somebody I really wanted to have on the show for a while now. We have Rick Maderis. He is a former Nike footwear and graphic designer. I think he also did some work with Jordan Brand as well, among other brands. And he is the founder of Burnside Knives. Rick, what is up?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Finally, man. Finally, we got you on the show. We had some technical difficulties before, but we was able to overcome those and finally get you on the show. I'm glad you made time for us. I It's funny because me and Guru were out there a couple of years ago, and I don't know, we might have crossed paths. We talked to a whole bunch of people while we were there, so it's kind of hard to keep track of who we all talked to. But fortunately, we were able to link up and get you on the show. So once again, thank you. I don't know where to start off. I guess we can start off at the very beginning. You got in at Pencil, right? Like, you went to the Pencil Design Academy to get started.
Yeah.
What was that process like?
Strangely enough, I was working full-time at Adidas when I got into Pencil, and I linked up with Dwayne Edwards and mentioned, like, hey, Footwear has like graphic elements, and I'd be willing to teach graphic design if I could learn from you, because even though I was working at Adidas, I was a graphic designer for apparel and footwear, but I wasn't doing the work that I wanted to be doing. And so I used my vacation time actually to take a class over at Pencil. And the idea was I would trade graphic design services to students, thinking like, hey, maybe this would be an exit out of Adidas and I could like work at this school and work on stuff like that and learn footwear. But it turned out to me becoming a student there and taking a course with Dwayne Edwards, and it was really cool.
So wait a minute, well, let's rewind a little bit. So how did you get in at Adidas before you even got in a Pencil?
Originally, after college, I got into screen printing, and I'm a California kid, and then I went back to California, got into screen printing, got a job working for New Era, and I was working on a whole bunch of brands in action sports and things like that. And after I left New Era, I got a job at a surf company called O'Neill. And then from there, I was like, you know, I'm just going to open up my own little studio and work for whoever I feel like working with. And I applied for a job at Adidas and got a job at Adidas as a graphic designer working on t-shirts for like Foot Locker, Foot Action, Inline, special projects, all kinds of cool stuff over at Adidas. And I was on the originals team. There was a design manager, and then I was the lead, and then we had a junior graphic designer, and the three of us did all the graphics for originals for North America. And I had been there for a couple of years, and I was kind of wanting to do something different, and I saw that Pencil had started, and I was like, hey, I wonder if they would be interested in like letting somebody come in and maybe teach graphic design or teach like how to do something besides just footwear design, because there's so many elements that go into footwear. And so I just reached out to Dwayne and said, hey, would you be willing like to let me teach some classes and trade so that I could go to your school? And he's like, you know what, man, that's awesome. He's like, you can take my class. And so I paid, got in, and I used my vacation time. I didn't even have enough vacation to do it. So I just told the guys over at Adidas I was going to go to Pencil for a hot second and did a project over there and ended up taking one of their courses. So it was really cool.
Quick question, like for those who don't know, because it seems like there's still a lot of confusion as to the difference between Adidas and Adidas Originals. Like, what is the key differences between the two brands?
The difference is performance versus lifestyle. So when you see like a lot of the collaborations with musicians, that would go through the Originals department first, and then if they did a co-sign or something, like the new stuff with Jerry is totally different. Like Jerry Lorenzo has his own brand and is part of basketball and all of that, but back in the day it was very different. It was between sport and then sport lifestyle.
Right. So you progressed through Pencil, and then after you graduated, did you go back to Adidas, or did you make that leap to the swoosh?
No, I went back to Adidas, and I was there for a while, and got a chance to work on some pretty cool shoe projects with different people in the group. Like, I don't know if you guys remember this little jam, the SL Loop Racer. This one was pretty cool, and got to help out like on the graphic side of things, scanning currency, making sure we didn't get in trouble for it, making tissue. Got a chance to meet some other industry veterans now through this project, and then got to do some storytelling, got to do some different pieces. So after Pencil, I went back and did some work there for a little while, and subsequently got put on probation because I decided to make a knife company. and was shown the door not too much long after that. So
why? Wait a minute, what did that have to do with anything?
I honestly don't know. I think there was probably two parts to it. I think that after I came back from Pencil, I was a little hot-headed, to be honest with you, because I wanted to get into footwear and color and do more things than just t-shirt graphics.
Yeah.
And I was getting kind of impatient, and so I just thought to myself, I'm going to make something for myself, and I just don't think that the vibes were right anymore after that. So, but, you know, after leaving Adidas, I had to go onto that, like, you know, sit the bench kind of thing for a little while, and as soon as that was lifted, the advertisement for Burnside Knives hit Hypebeast, and 4 days later I ended up taking a position at Nike ID. So it was kind of like a roller coaster all at once.
But real quick, I want to ask you, huh?
I was hustling.
Yeah, I see that. I got a question about Adidas real quick. Now, that time where you were there, was that around the time, because I know there was a moment where it seemed like, talking to a lot of people that worked at the brand, there was a moment that they felt handcuffed, and then I don't know, what year was that? Was that like 2014? That was like right before. Was that right before Kanye or right after Kanye?
Kanye came between 2013, 2015, around that time.
Because that's when they started putting more focus
15.
on the North America side of
14 or
things, and they opened it up for more collaborations and, to your point, more lifestyle stuff. So was it around that time, or did that come after?
Yeah, it was leading up to that. I mean, we knew at the time that he was coming, and so we were everybody was kind of tight-lipped about all of that. But yeah, that was when I mean, he showed up and was upstairs from us. I was on the 3rd floor, and then marketing was on the 4th floor, and I was there when he first came, but we knew stuff was shifting that way, and everything seemed to be cool at the time. It's just, I think that there was a lot of pressure all at once, and it was like, you know, dial into what you were hired for, but it was such a nimble and cool crew of designers that we were doing a lot of really big things, and I was one person that just wanted to do more. I don't know about anybody else, I can only speak on mine, but I don't really feel like it was like handcuffed, but I think the vibe changed more than anything.
We've said it on the show, where we felt like Kanye to date has been the biggest signing to Adidas in their history. I mean, you can make that argument. Do you feel that same way, or do you feel like there are other things in Adidas history that played a bigger role in Adidas success?
I would say that it's always that question of like the chicken versus the egg, right? And neither one, not making a food comparison, but I mean, how can you like not say that without Muhammad Ali or I don't know, Run DMC being like, those for me at least, like as far as sport and culture goes, but moving today and forward or what have you, I mean, you can't deny his genius and his ability to touch so many people and to make change and influence the world. But at the same time, like, I think it'd be hard to be in that dude's shoes. But I don't know, I'd have to say Run DMC is probably still the top one for me, because without that, I don't know if we would have what we have today. And then also, if we go back in history, I think without Muhammad Ali and his persona, I don't know if we would have any of this.
That's true. Me personally, I've even forgotten that Muhammad Ali was
That's what he wore in the ring.
a signature athlete for them. I forgot about that too. So you're right. Like, the Adidas probably wouldn't be in a position to get a Kanye had it not been for those things happening in the end. And I gotta admit too, you know, you're talking about Run DMC. I think because, especially in this generation, right? Like, anything that happened before most of these kids were born didn't happen or doesn't matter. And I think because we live in the now and we see the impact of a Kanye, we forget about the impact of a Run DMC, who, you know, to me personally, kind of went, they gave Adidas a fighting chance when you have a Nike and a Reebok exploding in the mid to late 80s. So, yeah, I think people forget like how big of a deal that was.
Yeah, and given, I mean, just the large scale of what Kanye brings to the table that has no edges, right? Because we never know what he could do next.
Right.
Not the same comparison as, say, somebody like Jordan to Wilt Chamberlain. He's asked who's the greatest because they're both in the same sport. Whereas Kanye, he's not an athlete versus the Muhammad Ali as being pure athlete, and then
Right.
Run DMC being able to transition rap and rock and making a cultural shift that way. So I mean, if we were to really break it down, I would say Run DMC, then Kanye. But
What about Pharrell?
Pharrell is another one too. I mean, I was there when he did the first Rainbow Prismatica, the shell toes, and that was incredible to be able to see all the different shades all the way around. It's like he's a genius for sure, and he did so much stuff. I think that stuff's rad personally because you can. If you like a certain model of shoe, like some people I know, they only rock nothing but Air Max 90s, and they love being able to mix and, you know what I mean? And so, and then his human race stuff really is cool too. So I don't know. I would definitely say like Run DMC, then Kanye, and probably go down Pharrell. But then you start getting into the minutia of who had more sales. But as far as touching people, I'd probably stick with those two.
What goes into a brand's decision to collaborate with certain individuals, especially around that time too, because that was around the rise of the entertainer versus the athlete.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the exact answer, but I know it definitely will come from a marketing or a sales standpoint. But I think that who is generating the most hype would determine maybe who gets picked, or somebody that might be, because you got to think about even somebody like, say, Travis Scott, who had a huge following, wasn't the Travis Scott that we know today when he first got picked up with Jordan Brand. But I think that, and this is just like my kind of like, I don't know, moonshot idea, but there's something to be said that I think that Adidas is the brand that collabs with musicians more than Nike does.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you can name more musicians through the Adidas lens. That, and I think the thing with Kanye was that there was so much controversy around Kanye leaving Nike, and then what Adidas did with Kanye almost empowered creatives to think bigger, that they don't have to just co-sign an existing model, that something new can be made. And I think that's where the big swing and the shift happened.
I definitely agree with that. Like, go ahead, girl.
Good, but I feel like I guess I would say if I had to answer that question, I feel like one, they look at your draw, they look at your status as your status quo as a person, they look at what you've done prior to them, and then two, they look at how does your persona and you generate revenue and product in. So like with Pharrell, he sold clothing, he sold music, and you see that his influence around his peers as well, right? Because one thing about Kanye, he didn't just influence the fans, he influenced his peers. So that was like a two birds, one stone with Kanye. And also too, what I feel like with signing Pharrell and with the Kanye is also to be able to, you could sometimes with athletes, you got the designers sometimes do most of the work, you know what I'm saying? But with the artists like Pharrell and Kanye, they working along with you, so it makes the designer's job a little bit easier, more fluid when it comes to the designing process. But also too, what I've learned too and read in articles and books on marketing is that they don't really sign you, they sign the people who follow you. Like Nike gave LeBron that money because they saw his fan base, right? So if I can sign you and I can get your fan base to buy into my product, then that's what it's same thing with Beyonce is the perfect example. Her fan base is extremely loyal from a product standpoint, from a music standpoint, from ticket sales standpoint. So when you sign Beyonce, you're signing the beehive, you know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of brands look at. And with Travis Scott, it's just like his fan base, he's kind of cultivated his fan base, then use his fan base to get his deals, and then the company will use his fan base in order to generate revenue. So that's kind of how I see it.
Right. But to your point though, like, because that was kind of like a touchdown moment, because at that time, because I remember we was having debates then, like who's more influential, the athlete and the entertainer, and it seemed like Adidas in particular leaned heavily towards the entertainer, and I also agree with you with, especially with Nike and the contrast between them and Adidas. It does seem like Adidas does offer more creative freedom, whereas Nike is just like, all right, well, here's a shoe that already exists, co-sign that. Here's a colorway, slap your colorway on it. You know what I'm saying? And I do think Adidas has led in that category to the point now where, you know, Drake has his own line, I guess. Who else? Travis Scott, you know, he was able to put it back in swoosh.
I feel like it's even in that. I feel like even in that
Virgil.
win, there's a loss because it's just like you wouldn't give it to Kanye or Pharrell, but you would give it to Drake. And out the three of them, the other two that you let go are way more. I'll say way more creative from the clothing and the footwear aspect. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm looking like you did. Like you let that go, but it's just almost like saying, I'll let Mike walk, but I'll sign Steve Kerr to a max deal.
Look,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's what, you know, like
well, we got the expert on here. You worked with both Adidas and Nike. I mean, I guess we can ask you, like, does Adidas really like provide more creative opportunity for the people that they sign for endorsements?
In the experiences that I've had, the big difference that I've seen and heard amongst old colleagues across the board is that one brand will promote the logo of the person they're collaborating with or their collaborator, versus the other brand will keep their logos higher up on the totem pole, if you will.
I know which one.
Yeah,
I think we know which ones.
I like exactly how you explained it too.
Yeah, we know which one is the latter.
Yeah, because I had a conversation with somebody. I'm not gonna say any names, but I had a conversation with somebody, and to your point, they said like, we are the bigger brand, we are the selling point. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they do a collaboration, they're the higher tier as far as, to your point, the logo placement and branding and all that other stuff. And so, yeah, and I can see why. Like, looking at it now, I can see why Adidas undermined Reebok to get Beyonce. And speaking of which, the relationship with Adidas and Reebok, like, were you able to see that firsthand? And are you surprised that they didn't work out?
I saw it just as a lot of other people saw it as a spectator of it. I have had a chance to work with designers that used to work at Reebok that worked at Adidas. I don't remember anybody directly working from Reebok going to Nike, but great designers. And I think at the end of the day, like, some of these brands that have such big umbrellas, they really need to focus on a few of their projects rather than try to do everything, because I think when that acquisition happened, I mean, I think at the time, didn't Adidas own Arc'teryx at one point? And they had Solomon, and, you know, you had Nike with a bunch of brands as well. And so I think that it just seems kind of, I don't know, commonplace for some of the bigger umbrellas to let some of the other ones go. I mean, I remember when Nike had signed Hurley. Remember that surf kind of conglomerate?
They signed Hurley and let Bob Burnquist go.
So, and then they let Hurley go, but then you think about the surf world, and it's like there's humongous brands that any of them can go to, but surf doesn't sell as much as basketball, fashion, music, you know what I mean? And so it'd be weird to have that. So I think maybe, you know, maybe they were cannibalizing themselves in so many regards and thought it'd be better to get rid of some things, you know?
Right.
Rather, don't let the fruit spoil, if you will.
But it seems like there's a lot of opinion that they didn't do Reebok, I guess, justice. You know, like, it seemed to me, from at least from my point of view, that they did undermine them to some degree. Like, there was a lot of things they had going for them that they could have expanded on, like the basketball category. Like, they had John Wall, and then Adidas took them for themselves. You know, there's, depending on who you talk to, like even the Beyonce situation, how that whole thing played out. You know, like, do you think Adidas gave them a fighting chance or gave them the best chance to be successful? Because I always get the comparison between Reebok and Adidas and Converse and Nike. And you see how Converse is thriving underneath Nike, whereas Reebok didn't.
Yeah, I think that when you look at, say, Converse, for example, you know, you have like a pretty healthy performance basketball line, whether people like it or not. That stuff's pretty cool. And I think that, you know, it's, I don't know, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like, it almost seems okay to wear a pair of Nike socks with Chuck highs, but you would never put the Reebok and Adidas together and have like a cool fit or somebody stunt in them. I don't know if that's just us thinking about like brands and how we can pair things together, but I mean, it almost feels kind of like, I mean, you have like two brands that are trying to shoot for the same thing, and it's like, well, wouldn't you want to just put everything into the varsity athlete versus the other, right?
Right.
And so I don't know. I mean, and then if you think about Converse, they've really pared down how much they put out in the world. They have some collabs, but if you look at their website and what they actually sell in stores, they don't sell the abundance of models that, say, Reebok would do in comparison to Adidas. So it almost seems like a safe, I mean, this is just my opinion, just like a safe bet to be able to have a really good staple like Converse with Nike, because you know that, I mean, how many pairs of Chucks do we all have? I mean, we go through them, and you know, you can, I don't know, if you like footwear as much as I do, then you know, you might want to try a new pair of basketball shoes or a new pair of like something, or something that might just be seasonal, because it's not going to set you back a bunch of money, but you can still have something up to date or what have you that is still culturally relevant across multiple age groups, across multiple geographies. You know, you can wear a pair of Converse all over the world, and people know what it is. They probably the same thing about the other ones, but I would say the popularity and the wholesomeness of one versus the other probably is a lot higher on the Converse versus Reebok side, personally. I don't know if anybody ever did anybody wrong on that stuff. I would say, just given how people treat each other and all that, I think it'd probably be a money determination how that all folded out.
So you leave Adidas, they put you, to your point, you said they put you on the bench. And then is that when you got the call to go to Nike, or?
So I had been talking to people about trying to get on somewhere else after leaving Adidas, and it was the first time in my professional career I'd ever been let go from a place, and so I didn't really know what to think. So I jumped on to job recruiting places and said, hey, here's my work, here's my portfolio, I need to do something. I had just bought my first little townhouse at the time, and it was like a big deal, the first time I ever bought a house, and I was freaking out. And a job recruiting place in the city, a lady by the name of Dana Michaels hit me up, and she was like, hey, there's a job over at Nike, I think you'd be great for it. It's in their Nike ID department. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do there? That's the place where everybody customizes stuff. And she's like, we need somebody that's in-house. And so I just looked at it as the way of being the person that created the ingredients for the salad bar, I guess, if you will. That was how I talked myself into like, hey, this might be a cool thing. And I was glad I did, because it was a really cool opportunity. Got a chance to meet some really cool people and work on great projects too. And then it was from Nike ID as a contractor, I got introduced to the guys over in the Jordan department, which became another contract, and then did a couple projects that really turned the dials up, and they offered me a full-time job in Jordan.
Okay, so let's go rewind back to the Nike ID, because there's two things I want to touch on. One, you did the New York, the NYC store, Nike ID? You were a part of that, right?
Yeah, the Soho, the lasers.
Yeah.
So this one was, I got a chance to do this one. It was actually a campaign that it was going to be an Air Max 90 and, an Air Max 1 and the Air Force 1. And behind the scenes story, I mean, the story's already been out. It was going to be a campaign that was going to be called like Heart and Soul. And so I got a chance to do the soul of it, which was the Air Force 1, and got a chance to work with some material developers and go to the Nike archives and pull all the graphics from all the different shoes, and did this cool little jam. So we used Vachetta leather, and I shouldn't even be touching these things, but yeah, it's like white Vachetta leather that's been laser etched, and then it has like a varnish over the top of it. And they never made the Air Max 1, I think probably just because of time and cost, but that one got out, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I got a chance to do some other stuff too, like for yeah. A lot of people don't like this shoe, but it was my first shoe I got to do for LeBron, so I was pretty stoked on it. Got to do the 13. He wore these on court. Not this one. This is like the sample confirmation pair that I did. Just had to get one of them. And then I did the update to the Aunt Pearl for KD on the 9s. And so I took every flower from every place KD had ever lived and made a custom pattern out of it, and then did a repeat. So got this one too. Like, yeah.
Well, I was just about to ask you.
That's creative as hell.
That is like, I mean, I'm glad you offered
real.
that up, because I was just about to ask you, like, what goes into the design process? Once again, I know it probably varies from brand to brand, but as a designer, like, what do you start off with? Like with the KDs, you talked about the different flowers that, you know, from the locations they used to live at. Like, we're like, how, like, what's that process? Like, where do you just pull stuff from?
I was lucky enough to work underneath Jonathan Johnson Griffin, and he was very cool with me, because like he was very direct. Like, this is what we need. This is what we need to do. Here's the outline. Here's like the brief. What have you? I mean, he was director at the time. I think he's moved way up since then. And he's like, we got to do a KD project. I need you to work with so and so, and we need to tell this story. And I thought, you know, the most popular KD shoe, at least to me, that I spit out to anybody was the Aunt Pearls. And I thought, like, how cool would it be if, like, we took that shoe and we did something different? And they're like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, dude, what if we just pick flowers from every place he's ever did, and, like, we update the flower arrangement, you know, just something as simple as, like, fresh flowers. And they're like, yo, that's cool. Do it. Can you do it? And I was like, yeah. And so I just got a whole bunch of, I took some photographs of flowers because some of them grow here. And then I got some stock photography, and we basically like paid for all the assets, and I made these collages and stuff, and we showed it, and it was like, yeah, that looks cool. Let's do this. And so we did it, and they're like, all right, now you got to do a whole bunch of colorways. And I was like, oh my God, like I have no idea how I'm going to make like 6 different colorways that people can pick from on Nike ID. And so they're like, hey man, just like make one in this colorway, make one in that colorway. And so I got a chance to work hand in hand with like materials and color, and underneath the direction of JJG, and got a chance to do all of that stuff. And, you know, got a chance to work with the digital team so that they could take the shoe and wrap it into the 3D environment, so that when you click through it, you can see it change. And it was just kind of like a, I don't know, like a knee-jerk reaction of like fresh flowers, you know? I mean, sometimes just the easiest ideas are the ones that just come out. One of the little extras that happened during that time was, it was for summertime basketball, because KD has no off clock. Like, you know, he's one of the guys that as the season's over, he might take a couple days with his family, but then he's back at the gym, or he's doing summer league, or doing other camps or things like that, or like we just saw in the Olympics. Like, and so they're like, all right, so we have the flower one, what's next? It's like, oh man. And we did an offering that was inspired by, loosely by Saved by the Bell. So like the colors, the pops, like the lines, the gestures, all that stuff. And so we had to make assortments, and we were just juicing the 9 as much as we could with stories that he liked or things that he thought were cool at the time.
So from all these experiences in your personal collection, are you sitting on a bunch of samples right now? Which leads to my second question. Have you or would you ever sell some of these samples?
Oh my God.
Come, Dunks has got to be done.
I know,
It's got to be incriminating. Why would you ask him?
Man.
You know, it's funny. I was talking
How is that incriminating?
I was talking to a buddy of mine last week about the same topic, and he was like, bro, a guy I used to work with, he's like, you have so many cool projects. He's like, would you ever get rid of anything? And I was like, I was offered one of those like undisclosed eye bug out things for a pair of shoes that I worked on. And I was like, the thing is that there's 2 parts. Like, I'm ethical to the T on the fact that I don't want to give up a piece of my portfolio. And if I did, I would want my little girl to do that so she can pick a college that she likes someday, if they hold up that long.
Right.
And I always thought about it from the standpoint that when I left the Jordan group because of COVID and the way that everything had transpired, I mean, I left it 1,000%. I've always kept it 1,000%. That if I ever got asked about a pair of shoes, people know what I've worked on, and they know that I'm not going to get rid of something. So they're like, hey, can you bring this in for a photo shoot? It's like, I have like my Mamba Day from Nike IDs are still in the exterior box, because I know the serial number on the outside for the shoes inside. I haven't even seen them to confirm that they got my name embroidered correctly on the inside of them. I saw somebody sell a business card of Phil Knight's that had his signature on it. And they sold it on eBay for like $50. And I saw it and I was like, I'm getting that thing. And so I wrote him a letter and I said like, hey, I got one of your business cards off of eBay. I was hoping maybe I could, like have a cup of coffee with you. And I get a letter back at my desk about a week later, and I had a business card from him, and he signed it. So shit, he didn't read it. He just saw that somebody wanted a business card, and I just thought to myself, like, like how funny would this be someday if, like, I'm like, yo, I got 2 business cards. Like, can we have 2 cups of coffee? Because I mean, like, yeah, I could sell some of this stuff, and I could probably make, I could probably make a pretty penny off of it, just like any other designer who's ever done any of this stuff probably could. But there's a little bit of humor in the fact of like sitting on a pair of like the Colettes, right? It's like I'll never get those back, even though I did those with Gmo and the Jordan team, right? Like I've seen what they're worth on StockX, but it's like it's crazy because I know that how fast we did that and how small of a team that we did, and then how crazy they went, and it's like that little project is worth this to somebody else, but other people it's like a grail, and it's like, well, I only got 1 pair of them, so if I get rid of it, I'm gonna lose all my cred. And you know what I mean? Like part of it is the cred behind it too, because I don't want to get rid of it.
Real quick, I will take your Phil Knight business card story and I will raise it. Me and Guru were actually in his office. Cool. Yes. So I feel like we got closer to Phil Knight than you did, so we got a little bit of bragging rights.
All of these stories are always before slam dunk, huh?
Slam
dunk.
Well, so our conversation, okay, you were in his office. I was bullshitting with him in the elevator, telling him the story.
Fuck.
And I was like, hey,
there you go.
Yeah, but you know what? I haven't sat in his office the way that you have. I didn't do the tour of his office. I got to hang out with him in the elevator and the foyer, and got a chance to like make fun of him, be like, "Hey, nice shoes," Like,
but you actually got to meet him.
Check out this business card.
You did more than season Guru then.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thought I had at least one thing. But going back to Nike ID real quick, I gotta ask you this, because this is a question that me and Guru have been asking for a while now. And like certain silhouettes make it onto Nike ID, and we are under the impression that if Jordan Brand actually put signature Jordans on Nike ID, Nike would be printing its own money. Like, you imagine a Jordan 11 on Nike ID, like it's
hell, Jordan 1. That's what they look like now.
It makes so much sense. Why are they not making this move? I mean, I've heard answers, but I just want to hear it again.
I can only give you my opinion.
Okay.
I've sat in meetings and I've heard loosely why they don't want to do that is as simple as wanting to protect the brand. But I think at the end of the day, we know that here's 2 shoes that I missed out on. I missed out on the Air Jordan 1 Mochas, and I missed the top 3, the first iteration.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I was bummed out that I did not make the move on that. Because honestly, at the time, I'm not going to tell you how much we had to pay for them, but we got a chance to get every single pair of Jordan 1s that came out every single month when we were a designer. Honestly, some people say that this is a grail. I mean, literally, I was there. We got shoes all the time. These are the ones that are designers only, right?
Yeah.
And I missed out on those ones. If those things ever came out on Nike ID, they wouldn't be the same because they are not made at the same factory. They don't have the same materials, and they don't share the molds across different factories. And so it would be getting for example, it'd be like getting McDonald's in Times Square versus McDonald's in Shanghai. People might say it's the same thing, but we know it's not.
Right.
So you saying Nike ID has better quality?
No, I'm saying that they're very different based off of the 2. I would say if we had to do apples to apples, I don't know. I would say certain meshes and skins and things like that might be more expensive through one versus the other. But I don't know. I mean, better is really kind of a personal thing. I wouldn't say better, and I don't know if they could probably do it as equal or as good as the Jordan department does it. And I think that's why they have everything segmented and orchestrated the way that they do. That and I honestly don't think that they want to butcher the Air Jordan franchise by doing that. They could probably make a lot of money, right? But, you know, would you rather make like $1 billion in an hour, or would you rather make $100 billion over 10 minutes? You know what I mean?
Well, one,
But doing that already.
I was going to say, like, the way they dropping colorways, I mean, they almost doing it themselves. But to your point about the Nike ID thing, one, I don't think anybody would care about, like, if it came down to quality, if people could have their own customized Air Jordan 1 or Air Jordan 11, I think people would subconsciously, maybe not consciously, but subconsciously be okay with that.
If Nike ID did this, it would help combat resale. Because if everything's custom, for lack of better words, or it doesn't have an individual stock keeping unit, they couldn't keep up with that on middleman platforms.
But they still did it with the dunks, though. When they let y'all do whatever, the Nike ID for the dunks for a couple of days.
They might have had some templates, but I'm saying if every model there's no way they could keep up with that.
Or even do like custom skins. So like if they are worried about the prestige, right? Like whatever. Like come out with like a custom skin, like they do with certain silhouettes. Like I just did the custom on the Nike ID for the Air Force Ones, where they had the gradient swoosh and the patent leather upper or whatever. So they do. I remember a couple years ago they had the mirror, the mirror Air Force Ones or whatnot. So they do that from time to time. So like drop a Jordan that way, where you just kind of like it's a customized skin that I guess options obviously. And go about that.
Somebody's gonna be like writing this down somewhere on a pen and pad, be like, "Yo, I heard this. Let's do this." And we're like, "Oh, give him a raise." Oh, there's a creative director all of a sudden, right?
Well, they steal ideas from the show all the time.
I was gonna say this ain't the first time they stolen ideas.
Yeah.
Guru brought up the 6/17/23 coming out, and a week later they re-released the shoe. So,
no, I mean, trust me, this is nothing. What we're talking about now is nothing new from what we said. What was that, 2018?
Yeah, my thing is, it's like you can't say you don't want to butcher the brand, but in 1 month you'll have like 5 releases dropping. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you say, I don't want to do Nike ID, but you gave us every possible color placement of a shattered backboard in white, black, and orange.
Yeah.
And you did it with the Chicago. And then it's like, and then you don't say like you take it, because you've taken these classic colorways like the Hair 7s and the Bread 11s, and you've put them on 6 rings, Jordan Auras. Like you've done it, you've cross-pollinated colorways through Jordan brand and Team Jordan brand models. So when it's like, don't cut off your nose to spite your face. Well, sometimes when I look at their remarks for some of the things that they say.
I think there's probably something of like, keeping as many of the chips close into the middle of the pot that they can do across the board so that they have total control over it. Because, I mean, like, I would like to get a pair of 11s that I got to design. That would be rad. I would do a couple of different colorways. But, at the end of the day, like, I still catch feelings on the Jordan 1 lows. Like, I don't like the Wings logo on the back of it. And I don't like the 2-3 on the lace loop part either. But some people like that. And it's like, I don't know. I think when it comes to some of these things, like, I love the ID and I love the experience and to be able to do that. But I also kind of like chasing them too and being a purist. Like, oh, I got that pair and like it didn't come out since like 2016. And here's the updated one, and do the comparison of the two. But I don't know. I mean, I think it might look pretty gross if we had everything on Nike ID personally.
yeah.
But I'd rather be.
No.
I'll be okay if he
He's right.
designed something that looked terrible, right? Because that was just his personal. But besides, if they designed it, it's like, oh, look at this. This is fire. It's like, no, it's not.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because here's my thing, and I not only from a consumer standpoint, as someone who works retail and worked retail for 10 years, sneaker retail. Like when you make an ugly shoe and it don't sell, I gotta box that up and send it right back to the brand. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that gotta take it out of the shipment. I gotta do the markdowns 4 times on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I speak from a place of that where it's just like you could have done that, or there's things you can do. You can say, hey, the first 2,000 people make a Nike ID and check out, you will get that shoe, and then we'll cut it off. They've done that before with the Dunks. So I mean, you can still do it and kind of protect it. So
I think, and to your point, and Rashawn, I think we're kind of like just spitball noodling this, or maybe this is something I heard you guys talk about previously, but what would happen if they just reached out to different like sneaker groups or fans or people geography, and they're like, all right, we know that there's going to be this shoe coming out from the dudes that are in Detroit, and everybody's going to be like looking forward to that one. Next we're going to like NYC, next we're going to ATL, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do it that way. Like, and it could almost be like a drawing rather than drawing to be somebody's marketing team. You can actually be a drawing to be a creator, which would be kind of fun. Now, it's going to put a lot of designers and colorists and people on the edge of their seats being like, yo, don't say stuff like that. But I think that would be kind of rad, because in that way you can touch different cities and you can almost create hype within a contest to get people to contribute ideas that can feel like a part of it. Or like, hey, like my cousin got a chance to do this. Great, there's a conversation. What did they do? Why? You know what I mean? It just kind of bigger and bigger that way.
Well, it creates engagement between the brand and the community, and so to your point, that's one of many ideas. You know, you talked about it. We talked about it on the show. You know, I've pitched ideas to different folks.
Plus, but designers are really like almost like musicians. Sometimes you get writer's block. Sometimes you get that blah. But if you come to Detroit and you work with us, right? You know what I'm saying? And we're saying, and I'm showing you like, hey, this is why I'm gonna put this all over my shoe. And then so watching me engage with my shoe or telling my story, they may ignite more creativity, or you also can learn right here. So if you go to New York and you learn about how they place colors and how they style their shoes, and you come to Detroit and learn, we're all about colors, skins, and fabrics, as far as gator and snake skin, stuff like that. That will kind of, when you go back to your office, you will be kind of rejuvenated and say, okay, now I got some more creativity to work with. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how that will be beneficial. I mean, you're not gonna lose your job, because the customer will like an opportunity to have a once in a lifetime thing to design a shoe, and then you're learning about his demographic and what they would like.
Thinking about that, like that impact with community and being able to touch and learn from all kinds. I mean, like there's documentaries that probably don't even touch a half of what has happened in Detroit, right? Like we could talk about sports teams. We could talk about the influence of music and food and all that stuff. There's so many cities that have that it would be rad to do a round robin around the world, start in the States. I mean, and then go from there and just like really, I mean, embrace something much bigger. I mean, and you don't need a jersey for any of that stuff. It could be any brand that can do that, you know?
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say that was gonna make me leads me to a question. So like when the brands do like city packs, right? So is that kind of like not what goes into that then? Is it like basically just someone kind of like more or less spitballing ideas of what they think represents that city, more so than really getting out there and seeing what actually represents it? I
think, well, my only experience that I've been part of on city packs, and this is across multiple brands, not just Nike and Adidas, is that you'll look at what is happening in the seasonal line plan, how things are getting merchandised, where things can fill in that can embrace the colors of the teams or the things that are synonymous with a certain city. That's the best way I've been able to ever describe it, is that by looking at, you know, like let's say for example, we were going to be inspired by, I don't know, oranges, right? And there's all kinds of different oranges, and we have this whole line of like orange, gray, black, white, and, you know, earth colors, right? And then it's like, but we're gonna do this like in San Diego or something, and you know, they have brown and yellow, and they're gonna add in, you know, some pinstripes and throw it back a little bit to some old jerseys, and so they'll play in the colors that will do things like that. But you know, those recipes have been baked and have been, you know, implemented for, you know, decades now, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that is safe, because I know that like if I'm from San Diego, I'm not from San Diego, but if I'm in San Diego or I'm from there or I'm from that area, or if like from LA and I wanted something Dodgers blue or whatever it might be, that playing those cities packs has typically played into the sports because they're coming from a sports company, and they can merchandise that into the greater line of what else is happening, so that they don't have like two shoes that look kind of similar and they're like, oh, well, we didn't talk to one another. It's all orchestrated for sure. And I think that digging deeper into like, what if somebody like wanted to play into like the missions, or, you know, the food cart culture or something like that, or something different besides like the headliners for certain cities. I think that's when things are kind of get to the part where people have to take a gamble internally. Sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. Sometimes things don't even make the light of day, but you know, you have some pretty cool samples.
Well,
That's right.
Yeah,
That-
I was gonna say you might have an idea
man,
like that.
yeah,
right?
no, I was trying to avoid this, but I mean, since you brought it up, like, and this goes into my beef with the Black History Month collection, right? And I told you about this pitch where, you know, not only was it a Black History Month story, but it was a Detroit story, and you know, the Motown collection. I have been pitching that for a while now. Shout out to Ben Avey. He worked with me to put together this pitch deck. We came up with concepts and designs, and we even picked the silhouettes that we felt represented, because, you know, it's not just about colorways. The signature, well, the shoes also lend itself to telling that story. For example, Garrett Strong made the first hit for Motown, which was Money. So we obviously picked the Air Moneys, you know what I'm saying, for that silhouette, because it spoke to that particular story. Anyway, long story short, you know, it seems, whether you're talking about a city or even a thing like Black History, where you are trying to represent that particular thing, and I think it really comes down to storytelling. And so, to that degree, like, I feel like packs like that or collections like that have been an absolute failure, especially when you juxtapose it against like something like the Dornbecker collection, which I know you've worked on, where that is ultimate storytelling right there, where the kids themselves have a hand in creating those designs and whatever. And so, like, I don't know, what are your thoughts on the Black History Month collection, and is it something that they want to continue doing, or are they just kind of giving up on it?
As far as I know, I think they're moving forward with it, but I mean, one of the first T-shirts that kind of like, you know how certain verbiage T-shirts hit you differently.
Yeah.
Dude, Frank Cook's got the T-shirt, and I remember seeing when I first met Gmo over at Jordan, and he showed me Frank's T-shirt that he did. It wasn't like Black History Month; it was Black History Years. I was like, yo, like, that's awesome. And it was like super impactful, right? And I think that the BHM lockup that Nike uses, and using, you know, the patterns that they've used and the silhouettes, and or even thinking about like the N7 stuff, I mean, those projects are really, really cool. I had a small part in one of them where I was working on headwear, and I had to set up the BHM to be embroidered so that you can have the puff on the front and the flat stitch on the outside, and made a comment like, I love doing this stuff, but we should give this to somebody that needs an opportunity, because I'm already here, and you know, I love this.
Right.
I love the idea. I love the idea of doing a Motown piece. Like, how awesome would it be to like just like spitball and like just doing something in like the Supremes, and I don't mean like the brand, I mean the music group, and you had like maybe inspiration by all of their dresses, and you had, you know, the three women's dresses and the colors and all of that stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can go really deep into this.
It's like you was in the meeting, like for real. Like hearing it from you, that's what makes it more frustrating, right? Because it's like, you know, you go through all this. I mean, you know it. You know, there's the creative side, and then there's the bureaucracy, right? There's the red tape. There's the ladder you got to go up to get all of this stuff approved and whatnot. And it just seems like, to me, the decision makers sometimes get in the way of that. And I'm glad you pointed out, like, how, you know, case in point, if you're doing a Black History Month collection, right, give that opportunity to somebody who is from that, because they're going to put more into it, and they're going to have a point of view that somebody from the outside might not have. Like we was talking about the city pack, like, if I'm not from New York, I'm going to think of things I can think of, like, you know, a taxi cab or the Statue of Liberty, like all these generic things, right? But somebody from New York is going to think of something closer to home. And so, you know, if you have African American designers like heavily involved with that collection, they're going to think of these things, you know. And that's why, for me, like, first of all, your story is confirmation for things I already heard and knew. But, you know, it frustrates me. You know, especially, you know, when we offer up all these ideas, this feedback, constructive feedback for free, you know, something that the people that you're paying ain't even thinking about. And it's just frustrating. But I don't want to go on no bitch fest. Let's talk about lighter things. The Dornbecker collection, I do want to touch on that because I think you have one of the more underrated I guess sneakers from that whole entire collection, which are the 15s. I think that's one of my personal favorites just because I'm a fan of the 15s. And then Dragon Ball Z. Like there's no way
wait, that was
wrong.
you? Oh
Yeah,
shit.
I got it here. So I got the sneakers down in storage, but I keep this backpack handy. So I mean, like, it goes to say that, like, if you can remember people's names and stuff like that, drop their names. Like, I got a chance, like, the girl that I took over, the woman that I took over the position for doing headwear, her name is Precious Hannah. She was a headwear and accessories designer. She moved into doing kids footwear design. She was a footwear designer on the Dornbecker 15, and there was also a woman by the name of Savon who is a color and materials person, and I got to do the graphics part of it. We also had a couple other people on the team, and it's hard for me because, like, I started writing this hashtag. Yeah, my IG is private. I like to, show my family and stuff like that. It's not all about the followers and all this other stuff. But for this stuff, like, this stuff was, like, really, like, about wanting to have the hashtag of the team did a thing. And so I started doing stuff right around that time. Justin Amago, who I sat next to, was a Jordan footwear designer and the lifestyle stuff. He actually designed the backpack or the chassis that I got to do the artwork for. So I drew all the Dragon Ball Z stuff, and we got a chance to even put, like, Donaku. I don't know if you can see this Donaku, like, embroidered on the back.
Yeah.
So Donovan Denti was the recipient of the Dornbecker collection, and he wanted Dragon Ball Z, and I literally drew Dragon Ball Z full color and got a little, like, dragon on the inside and got some cool trims and all this stuff. He wanted the whole thing to be Dragon Ball, and so I did it for him, and we got into the little minutia of, hey, this looks a little too close. We could possibly have cease and desist or have a potential lawsuit. And I thought that one of the cool things that happened with Nike at the time was that they said, this is this kid's wish, and we're going to give it to him. Win, lose, or draw. And so you do the artwork, and then at the last minute it was, hey, that looks like really too close. I'm like, well, he told me to draw it, so I drew it. And so we ended up changing it to gold and black, and we changed the moldings on the actual 15 so that it had his brother's birthday on the back of it, and we had some really cool materials that our materials designer put over the outside. And the 15 was actually the first time that shoe had went down to a kid's size. So the Jordan design team, or the Jordan brand as a whole, made a decision that the 15 wouldn't just be for adults anymore, so they opened up all the moldings so that it can actually be made for grade school sizes as well. And I got to do all the graphics and stuff for it. It was pretty cool.
I seen on eBay, because I love getting my son vintage stuff. I seen the Flint 15s in like a preschool or kid size. So they made them. They may have been super, super, super rare. They like limited run, but I remember seeing one because I kind of lost out on the bid for it. But that's pretty dope. But but that's still dope that you did that, and they probably don't remember doing it because you around so many shoes and so many things like that. But that's still dope that they even changed the molding to have the name fit on there. That's dope too.
Can we?
Yeah.
Well, there's an ending to that story. I don't know if you can tell it or not.
Yeah, so Donovan is a double amputee. He wears prosthetic legs, and for the Dornbecker ball, the night where they had all of the recipients come out and they had the auction inside the Tiger Woods auditorium, they had all these people in there, right? And they're all going to bid. A lot of them are from the hospital. It was a lot of doctors, physicians, people that are, the who's who of like Portland, Beaverton. I mean, there were people that flew in from all over the world for this event, and he wanted to have the print put onto the cotton sleeve for his prosthetic legs. and we were not able to do it in time because we were also doing all of his apparel and his backpacks and getting him in for a photo shoot and working with, I mean, all these teams. It was like you had your full-time job and you had your special projects, but then Doernbecher and Make-A-Wish was the one that kept you up all night that you would work on after everything else was all worked on. And so we were able to take the artwork and on campus make a bed sheet setup for him. So he had pillowcases and a bedspread and all that stuff. And so that never like really got talked about outside of like, you know, this conversation. But the Nike team worked with the kitchen to make something a little bit extra for Donovan. And so when he got home from the show, he had like fresh linens and stuff, and it was kind of cool.
When you guys were coming up with the Dragon Ball Z thing, and like you said that, you know, it was like, oh man, we could possibly get a cease and desist and all this other stuff. You guys decided to go forward anyway because ultimately this is about the kid, and you guys were willing to take that risk, you know, going up against, I don't know who owns Dragon Ball, but you're willing to take that risk of getting that lawsuit.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my decision. I mean, like, I kind of was on standby at that part, drawing and designing, what have you. And, you know, I kind of was like, well, we don't have a lot of time here. Like, look at our calendar, look at everything else that we're doing. And I just remember, I remember being kind of, I don't know where it exactly came from, but it was like, let's change the colors and let's move forward with it. This is his request. And it's like, cool. And it, you know, at that part, you're just like, almost like a chef just taking an order. Like, dude, they want a hamburger, bro. Take it.
Well, you're no longer there, right? You said, you know, COVID had a role in that.
Yeah, it was all COVID that had the role in it. And yeah, since then, I did a Kickstarter for Burnside knives, and I've been freelance designing and just trying to stay busy and keeping in contact. Yeah, there you go.
I got my handy dandy knife, just in case Gino decided to say something slick.
Or is it cut open your bricks?
Or I
hate these people. This is, see, yeah,
cut open your
this is
bricks.
gonna come in handy.
Rub them on your gums. That's how you do.
But no, like,
you're not supposed to do that, man. That's real dangerous.
What's real dangerous?
How'd you get into
Rub
knives?
the coke on your gums. You're not supposed to cut open the coke.
But I mean, he does it because it absorbs in your bloodstream faster.
I know. Right? This is how we do the show.
But because C's is a kingpin, he doesn't tell you this, but he's a kingpin. So that's what he does in his free time.
Listen, look, Rick. If I was doing something illegal, I would have been got in trouble from these people just blabbing it off on the show.
I mean,
you got the government. You got the government on payroll.
Right, exactly. Cops on payroll, border patrol on payroll. You know what I'm saying?
You are kingpin.
Exactly, kingpin for Spider-Man.
Look, I'm such a kingpin. I can't get the Motown collection made for Black History Month.
Because it's an image thing. They can't be working Motown with a known drug. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Well,
Hey,
I got to
just
jump
for the
ship.
Hey,
You saw Bumpy Johnson has problems too.
Wow.
just for the sake of guilty by association, we're all friends, so we're all in trouble now because of this guy.
Exactly. Like, so yeah, y'all done took Rick down now. Like, man.
Well, that's why Rick. That's you freelance designer. That's why.
You design his stamps for the bricks. That's nice. That's nice.
Breaking Bad. Like,
yeah. Then Eugene finds distribution. You know that's why he be really driving all these.
We almost made it through the entire interview.
So you know what I'm saying. So then Dunks is part of the street team.
We were this close.
Part of the street team. So
we were so close.
Hey,
But no,
Hey, you know what?
Let's figure out how he got into knives, though.
Where I grew up in California is a little town called Hollister, and my mother's father was a foreman of a cattle ranch. Literally, like, remember like City Slickers, Krusty, the cowboy guy? Like, he was a foreman of a cattle ranch. I grew up playing rodeo sports and baseball and decided not to play football and do other stuff and growing up. I grew up around ranch stuff, honestly. Orchards, cattle, dogs, all that stuff. And I had always carried a pocket knife. I always liked the outdoor stuff. And I was at Adidas and I saw a hashtag, like, you know, like when Instagram, like, I'm old, man, see these gray hairs? Like, I remember when Instagram started and the hashtag was a way to connect with people. Like, check out my kicks of the day, picture of the day. And it was kicks of the day truncated into KOTD. And I was like, well, I'm in Portland, Oregon. this is the knife capital of the United States. Literally, the biggest chain of, like brands. Like, I mean, every major knife company has an office or a headquarters in the state of Oregon. And so I just was thinking about, I'm like, all right, well, this is like something I can't get this out of my head. Like, this is weird. Like, KOTD, kicks of the day, sneakers of the day, knife of the day, and like, oh, knife of the day. And so I started buying like pre-made blanks and putting handles on them, and people were buying them. Like, I was putting like some turquoise and some weird materials together and just like putting them just on the handles. I wasn't making blades at the time. And I thought to myself, like, all right, I'm going to dig into this. This is kind of cool. I'm going to maybe like come up with a name. And I saw that nobody had the name Burnside. I went to the DMV. Nobody had a license plate that said knives. And I was like, I'm going to go for this. Like, why not? Like, I can stunt like with the cool sneakers that I have, right? But besides sneakers, what do people like? What do like women buy for men for, presents? Or what do guys get for other guys for like getting married or graduation? Or what is something like this? And it's like, well, I don't have enough money to start a watch company, but I can make pocket knives, and I've already sold a couple of them, and people think it's cool. And I found the word Burnside because I was driving across Burnside going to Adidas for work one day, and I thought to myself, like, Burnside has a cool history as far as bringing commerce from east to west. Knives are man's oldest tools next to hammer, like rock hammers. And I don't know, it was just like my growing up with, outdoor Western stuff, and then sneakers and this hashtag KOTD. And so, I mean, the license plate thing was kind of a light bulb going off. The name being available was a light bulb going off. And then I wrote this little line that said, "Your knife says a lot about you." And I trademarked it, and it got approved. And I thought to myself, here's all these outdoor brands that want to play this like macho hero army guy. I was like, but I have more friends that are chefs, and they're into sneakers, and they're into all kinds of like different things, that I can make a pocket knife brand that can be hopefully for everybody. But at the end of the day, whether it's your shoes or your pocket knife, it says something about you. And it just kind of became a thing. And then if it wasn't for Eugene Kahn putting the story up on Hypebeast, I don't know if I would have had the brand actually turn into something.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, I know you got some things coming down the pike. I don't know if I don't want to put that out there yet, but definitely check out Burnside Knives. It's definitely, I never thought I would talk about quality with a knife, but this is definitely, here, you guys can see for yourself.
I'm
but
keeping this for myself.
I did just drop this pen on the website. This is something I've been working on. And then this holiday, this is my prototype. This is just like a 3D print, but I actually got approval from Nike to use the word Hyperstrike. So I'm making an unboxing knife called the Hyperstrike, and it'll be made out of metal. This is just a print of it, but I'm tired of seeing these unboxing videos and these shitty knives, honestly. And
shout out to Roast Spit.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna make something dope. And so what I did was I took a letter opener and I mirrored it, and I was like, well, why would anybody want that? And it's like, well, because it's a boot knife, duh.
No, we could make it a thing, for all the sneakerheads or the shoe tubers doing their unboxings. We can make Burnside Knives the official unboxing knife.
I like that.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I'm gonna have to sell some more so I can, advertise and do it appropriately. But
yeah, most definitely. But no, I definitely thank you for making time for us. I know it took a lot to get you here, and this was one hell of a conversation, man. Like, do not be a stranger. We definitely gonna have you back on the show to talk about. There's a lot of things that we didn't get to that I wanted to get to, but
around too.
Time, yes. But no, definitely thank you, and maybe next time we're in Portland, we can hang out.
that would be great. And hey man, I'm all ready for the booster. I got my first shot. I'm just like, come on, let's I mean, like, I'm looking for the day that like everybody can be like, yo, mask off. We're gonna like meet at the mound, and we're gonna have a dog pile, and everybody's just gonna have like a free-form cookout and a wrestling match, and everybody can high five again. That would be awesome.
That'd be dope.
It would be.
But no, definitely thank you, and yeah, don't be a stranger.
Thank you very much. Hope you guys stay safe and appreciate your time and energy and all the good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Man, appreciate it. Thank you.
Once again, that is Rick Maderis, former Nike footwear and graphic designer for both Nike and Jordan brand,
3-4 years.
founder of Burnside Knives. I mean, name a brand, he's worked for them. So, you trying to stab Dunks?
He's trying to take my fours right now, live on the show.
Man, dog, wait, dang, on camera? In Birmingham?
The blinds are closed.
It's still Birmingham. You still got to get to your car. You
It
black.
is a ways away.
You're black.
Yeah,
You're
right.
black, Gino.
I'm gonna get a knife to
And
you.
he's white. Like,
I'm
you know,
gonna get a knife to you. Put your print. I'm gonna use my shirt. So
Nah,
your prints will be on
man, I
there.
feel like I need like a paper towel to pick it up now. Anyway, Rick
Wouldn't be the
Maderis,
only
this is-
illegal thing you've done.
Anyway, Rick Maderis, former Nike designer and founder of Burnside Knives. We're gonna kick it right back to the show at hand. Once again, shout out to Rick Maderis. That was a dope ass interview.
Definitely was.
So some people forgot their mic was hot.
Devin Hester was a beast, though.
But Dante Hall had a good 3-4 year stretch too.
He
was
did.
nasty with
Human joystick.
Man, this is Sunday. Like, what NFL games are?
The season start Thursday.
Well, yeah, I forgot.
Relax, man. Just
No,
wait.
man, I'm just ready for some football. But anyway, shout out to Rick, man. Been a hell of a week. Hopefully, we see you guys next week. This is what, episode 307? Counting down to 367. So
I
61.
told you we doing like the Goldberg Street. This is episode 344.
Right, we should just go ahead and just embellish our
Oh,
record.
we did more than 7 episodes since 300.
You did 44, so this is episode 344.
No.
Episode 345
300
next
was when?
week.
We at 307 right now.
Well, 300 was when?
Like,
What
2
was that,
months
4th of
ago.
July? That was 4th of July, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, so June, July, August. And then, you know, Adam.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we on episode 344. So
Yeah,
episode 345 next week.
307. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I had matching shirts on. That was dope.
who?
Gino and Dunks.
I know, that was so
we,
cute.
we
Y'all-
both we
Man,
had
he
on
was
white
linked up. You
shirts.
know how when couples sit together, one sit like this, another one lay back.
Wow. Wow. None of that there, guy.
boy.
None of that there. No, sir.
All right, so who's the dominant one in the relationship?
All right, episode 345 next week. We out.
But hey, I hope you're gonna be supplying his parties.
What the
See, he's bringing the party favorites to Doug's parties.
Oh, boy.
Well, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Well, the brothel used to be open.
Till Dunks made you close it.
Dunks didn't make me.
No, I'm
close
talking
the
about
brothel.
your product. You wholesale the Dunks parties.
I mean, yeah. Customer's a customer.
See, used to be right outside the brothel.
Oh, like food trucks?
Got what you need.
Ridiculous. I'm trying to end the show, but we talking about Dunks and Gino's relationship and food trucks.
Relax.
Coke trucks.
My bad. I was just looking at Florida State cheerleaders.
You telling your son to relax or you telling me to relax?
Who? No, I'm telling you to relax.
Why I gotta relax?
Come on, man. Episode 348 next week. We
Let's
out.
see y'all.
All right, peace.
Happy birthday to me.